yeah. Don't try to wag the dog. No. If you just a tiny pebble, yeah. Don't try to be the beach. Just be what you is. You can't be what's alive. But in the end, I said the truth is gonna show. If you just a mere branch, a circling, yeah. Don't try to be the tree on your wild like a dry limb. If you're just a little river, come on, yeah. Don't try to be the sea. Just be what you is. Be what just in the end, I said the truth is gonna show.
What's going on, everybody? It is RaiderFan Radio with you here in Vegas. Raider Rob, the beautiful Black Hole Steph, and of course, Stoner Dude 420 in the house. Good to be back with all of you on another show.
Show
edition.
21.
We are legal. Show 21. We are legal in Vegas.
We were legal when we were 18. Now
That was super legal.
we can drink legally.
Yeah, they-
Wait, you can still drink legally in some
Legally,
states
baby.
at 18. What can you do at 21 that you can't do at any other?
You can buy herb at 21 now for people that weren't medical patients.
I was buying herb when I was a kid from some dude in Santa Ana, California.
Hi,
I wasn't
dude, in
21
Santa Ana,
yet.
California, that used to sell weed to an underage stoner dude.
I guess you could get drafted. Oh, you can do that when you're 18 too.
You can do that when you're 18 too.
Well, we're 21 and we're happy about it.
21. For all of you that's turning 21, cheers to you. You know what I'm saying?
Metallica, 21,
Yeah,
only
yeah, yeah.
son,
Yeah.
but he served us well. For to kill, not to care, do just as we say. Yeah, man.
Yeah, you're feeling it. That's what you can do at 21. It's really wild out off of Metallica and get drunk legally at their concert. Anyway, it's good to be back with all of you. Hope you've been well. Hope you enjoyed the last couple of weeks of intense football talk that was going on, of course, the football universe. And we were right in the thick of it here in Vegas because of our live Draftcast. I want to thank all of you that watched and participated, and we had a bevy of guests, and it just was a fat party at the Rio. We were at the Rio doing it big, man, and so we thank you again. We're going to be talking about that, breaking all that down, and reviewing that and summarizing that, but it was a good time, had by all, and we had a great time.
It was loud, I know that.
Yeah, it was loud. Yeah, we had a fat
You get Raider Man, Raider Robs, Raider Homer, Savage, Raider Savage.
Yeah.
Who else?
Steve from Hell's Kitchen.
Well, that was Homer's first time in that type of rap. He'd never been in all of that together like
There was
that.
so much screaming. It reminded me of an actual being at a game out in the parking
Exactly.
lot, but all in a room.
We were not using using our inside voices.
Nobody used their input. A lot of outside voices.
Yes.
We were using our soon-to-become Death Star voices.
Yes.
Hopefully you Las Vegas Raider fans will impart and will bring into the Death Star starting in September. But it was fun, and we were able to break down the draft. A draft that had some twists and turns, of course. And of course, one of the biggest surprises what the Raiders did. We're going to get to all that in a moment. But first off, Stone, folks out there, you got to support him as much as you support us. Stoner Dude is one of the cogs of this show, Uncle Stone.
A cog? Am I a cog?
You're a cog in the wheel. You know, it's not just, here on RaiderFan Radio, which is one of his platforms, but of course, an accomplished artist in his own right, as you all may know, graphic artist and modern artist, all of that.
Thank you.
And he's right now in a very popular and esteemed contest here in Las Vegas that we need you folks to step up and vote for him more. So Stone, told him
I will give you the instructions.
Yes.
First of all, vote for me, Stoner Dude. I'm calling upon you, Raider fans, Chiefs fans. I don't care what fan you are. Just hanging out on the internet right now, going on your computer.
Lady fan.
What I need for you to do, first of all, I've been nominated for the Las Vegas Cannabis Awards for Best Artist/Painter. Artist/Painter. That's what I do. I artist and I /paint. And what I need you to do is I need you to go to Las Vegas CannabisAwards.com. I'm giving you all the instructions here. No excuses. You can pause this and rewind it and look at it. Make sure you do all the steps.
That's what I did.
Okay. Register and log in. You can't vote unless you register and log in and come up with some cool name, whatever you want to do. You just get an email and you can do this. And you can. You only have to register once, but you can vote every day.
Right.
And I expect all of you to vote every day until all your friends, the whole world. Then you click on Vote 2021.
2021.
Then you click on Local Communities.
Yes.
That's the next thing you do. Then the category you click on is Artist/Painter.
Artist/Painter.
And then most important of all, you vote Stoner Dude.
Yay! Our hero!
And you do that now, right this minute, until June 2nd. Once a day you can vote. Thank you in advance. It would be a prestigious award. And because, I'm a Raider fan, I'm very competitive, and I want to win, and I need you all to help me win. So thank you in advance again. Once again, go to LasVegasCannabisAwards.com, vote for Stoner Dude, and hopefully I'll see you at the big awards ceremony, smoking a big old bong head on stage, getting my trophy.
Now, I noticed when I went on there's a lot of pictures of different artists, a lot of different categories. There's one for models, porn stars,
models, photographers.
But now in the artist category, you have, to me, the coolest picture. Because one thing that a lot of the other nominees didn't have.
I'll even try to get it up on the
pictures
screen.
of their art. And you embodied in your profile picture all that represents your artistic image, which is bong, because you're 420 Stoner Dude.
Totally.
Okay. And then you had some of your art behind you.
You gotta have your art behind you.
Right. And then you were...
Presentation.
Right. And then you had, of course, your whole...
I've got my airbrush. I've got my brush. I've got a big pile of weed on a drum.
Exactly.
A licensed 1968 Ludwig drum. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I
personified your image.
I'm trying to pimp myself hard.
He's really him.
And one more last time, I'm asking you to help me to win. Tell everybody you know. Let's hit it hard. Win. Vote
for Stone. Vote for Stone. Vote for Stone.
Vote for Stone.
Or we'll storm your fucking Capitol.
Well,
okay.
On that note, and he will. I've seen him before.
I didn't say me. I said we.
We said we. Well, if you're going to be storming any Capitol, speak for yourself. We will watch you from over here. Anyway, on that note, we want to open up with a dedication.
Yes.
DEAD.
Do that.
Dedication.
Yes.
We have a couple of dedications tonight. The one I want to start off with tonight is we just found out that we had lost the actress Billy Hayes. And Billy Hayes, who's Billy Hayes? She was 96 years old, first of all. You may have known her best for, you like the 96-year-olds? Right?
No, not that old.
You like 96? What's the number? What's your cutoff number?
About 82.
So, Billy Hayes died today. Billy Hayes was Witchy Poo on HR Puffin Stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And she was also...
HR Puffin Stuff. What you do when things get rough.
Exactly. Once upon a time, kids, there was a thing called Saturday morning cartoons and Saturday morning entertainment.
Once upon a time,
for us
kids.
stoner kids back in the 60s and 70s and HR Puffin Stuff. She was also the genie in Lidsville. Now let's think about this real quick. HR Puffin Stuff.
I love Lidsville.
Duh. Puffin Stuff,
exactly.
right? Creeping it into the culture and children's minds back in the 70s. So you had HR Puffin Stuff. And then, of course, you had Lidsville. Duh. Lidsville.
Hello.
And it was all
psychedelic reference.
Yes.
It was all very psychedelic back in those days. And Witchy Poo was a very famous witch. I'd put her up there with the Wicked Witch of the West.
Broomhild.
With Broomhild, all the famous wicked witches of history. So we say... Thank you very much for some...
You said the Wicked Witches of history.
Right? There are.
Margaret Thatcher. Catherine
Oh, you can put anybody on that list you want. Any old wicked witch.
Alexis Carrington.
Well, the most famous witch of all is the one of the Wizard of Oz. I think. The green skin.
No, what are you talking about? The Witches of Salem are the most famous witches ever. The Witches of Salem. Salem witch hunt.
Okay, the Salem witches is the most famous time in history.
Okay.
But as far as visual witches, as kids growing up, the image of a witch.
Okay.
You've got the green skinned, black dress.
Margaret Hamilton.
Correct. From Wizard of Oz. And then you got Witchy Poo. She's right up there, I would say, at least.
You're right.
Yeah.
But you know, it really makes me think about those 60s and 70s when we were kids. And Sid and Marty Krofft was the producers of these shows back then that used puppetry and costumes to create these really cool, like you say, psychedelic, acid-induced, dreamy worlds that you could go into, and for 30 minutes, until the show was over, and come out of it. And you definitely don't see nothing like that these days.
No,
you don't see any kind of.
There'd be so much protesting.
It was crafty.
It was crafty, and we were allowed to have a fantasy, which helped to create reality. We took all of those images and made them like our reality, and then we grew up, and we still try to create that same imagery. Even in your art, and in my company with Flower Child, same thing. You're using those images because they mean so much to us, and they mean so much to the creativity of our generation. And watching that disintegrate, I mean, where is there an opportunity for kids to be extremely creative now without using a piece of technology, just like by hand?
Freehand. Yeah, freehand artistry and graphic art. Yeah, you don't see it as prevalent. There's still art schools, of course. There's still, artistic kids that are growing up to use their imagination.
But art isn't encouraged now.
Yeah, but it's not as encouraged as it once was. But yeah, that was
When I was in
time.
high school, I had at least 4 to 5 art classes a day, just art.
Wow.
And this is talk about this was just a regular high school in Orange County, Southern California, where
Tustin, right?
And that's my point as far as like when it comes to kids with what they have as far as classes, availability in school, especially now that they're doing stuff online and all this kind of stuff. I mean, I used to be able to have in a period a day of senior high school, all my years in high school, from freshman all the way to senior, I'd have a class where you just drew with a pencil. I had a class where you drew with ink. I had a class where you could just paint with watercolors. I had a class where you learned commercial design, where you designed movie posters and comic books and all kinds of cool things in the commercial world. Graphic arts, where you did printing, and you just don't have all those classes anymore, unfortunately.
No, you don't.
One of these
days,
days,
you don't have music class anymore. I mean, they're trying to
Ronald
go back.
Wilson Reagan.
But there are yes, he did it.
Who you blame for that shit?
Yes, cut out music programs and art and everything from school.
Well, hopefully people listening and learning right now are finding things on the internet, like Raider Fan Radio, but even more so in tutorials about art and all the different painters of history and things like that.
Bob Ross.
And
Stoner dude.
ultimately, there's nothing like being in a room though full of people that you like to do the same thing with, whether it's music or art, and exchange that energy and stories and discussion and debate and create things in front of each other to where you're like, oh, wow, how did they do that?
Yeah, you would say that in relation to our Las Vegas Raiders. A bunch of people getting together in a room and picking fucking Alex Leatherwood as the #1 draft pick in the first round in the 2021 draft. So let's get into that a little bit here.
Go there?
There was a draft.
Yeah, there was a draft. Before we get to that though, like we said, the Draftcast at the Rio was a bomb. Thanks to everyone for coming out, man. Oakland Raider Savage was there. Brian Moneyman Montoya and his lady Marcella, some local Raider fan friends of ours and associates. There was also Lisa McClain. That's Rolando's cousin. She was in the house giving shout outs to draft picks Najee Harris and Mark Jackson. I still got to see where Mark went.
Wasn't the Raider Puppet there too?
The Raider Puppet dropped in for a minute, although he didn't appear on air, but we'll have them on hopefully down the line. But Raider Puppet was there, and of course Raider Homer from Raider Homer channel was there and got indoctrinated into the real passionate aggressive intensity, of North Lot D in the Vegas desert, and me and him had a little exchange on some things that I'll talk about here in a minute. But the bottom line, it was great to have him, and he sat in and did a great job, just being himself and bringing his energy to the show. We also had Hell's Kitchen, one of the old tailgates for all of you that go back to Oakland with us. You know Hell's Kitchen well. They also were in the North Parking Lot D and were very popular. Raider J and Steve's mom and dad, who also ran Hell's Kitchen, and a lot of other guys that were there. So it was great to see him drop in.
Did they say anything about coming out and tailgating, doing any of that out here? Hell's Kitchen?
Right now,
any of the tailgate parties that you were nowhere affiliated with going to try to claim some kind of spot?
No, right now the word coming out of Oakland with some of those groups is that there is nowhere to tailgate. The way that they want to do it.
There is nowhere to tailgate.
There's just, it's going to be very limited, and from what I'm understanding, for those in the know, as fans who have tickets, right now that hasn't been addressed yet. Right. I saw though that the Luxor is considering using their front parking lot right there in LVB in front of the pyramid as one of the official Raider tailgate party facilities, which is right under the ramp, underneath the Mandalay Bay and over the ramp from the state, Hacienda, Las Vegas Boulevard. So that's a proposal that's being bandied about here in the city. But outside of that, fans are, talking about coming. I know, there were some fans at the Black, representing some type of black hole event or some Raider event for Westgate. We stopped over there on Friday.
What's up, senor?
What's up, senor? Raider senor. I was up there to run
the... Did senor still have his big mug?
Yeah. He was dressed in regalia.
Something.
Yeah, he was dressed in regalia. And I was up there hoping that I'd run into my former compadre in the black hole. He's still a friend, but, anyway, we got our issues. Robert Rivera, but it seems like he was hiding somewhere or he wasn't there. Or whatever. But anyway, it was good on a positive note to run in Gorilla. And like I told you folks a few months ago when I gave you the story about Gorilla in the costume and had not seen my friend Mark for so many years, well, I saw Mark.
Oh, you saw the Bruce Wayne to the back end, behind the scenes.
Got to see my friend Mark and talk to him. And
how's Mark doing?
Mark's doing great. Mark's eating well.
Yeah?
He looks like he hangs out with John Gruden.
You know what I know about Mark?
Or at least 2020 John.
He eats well, but he's also a stout dude. That's why he fills that gorilla costume so well. But my real point to that is that he is a hard-working motherfucker.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is a master landscaper that wakes up at the crack of dawn, not before, moves boulders and digs dirt and
those pools
as hard worker as you can imagine. I always see his amazing landscapes that he puts on Facebook.
Right.
So it's cool that you got to hang with G Rilla behind the scenes.
Yeah, G Rilla, and big shout out to an old friend of ours, Greg Townsend, part, of course, of the Los Angeles Raider legend. And we got to talk to him.
Was he at the Westgate?
Yeah, he was coming through, and we shot and said something.
I always saw him that he was always at Ricky's.
Yeah,
always at Ricky's.
Yeah, Greg Townsend.
He's where the parties are at.
We wanted him to be coaching us, but we know the limitations.
And what he said.
Of course, he said he's down anytime, he's ready.
Yeah, he gave me a pound on that. Because I remember him, remember when, I seen him some years ago doing a book thing in Oakland, just before we left and came to Vegas. He gave me a demonstration talking about what they were teaching at the time, his son at USC, and the bad coaching when it comes to blocking and techniques that they're teaching the players nowadays. And that's how they're getting hurt and a number of other things. So these many years fast forward, I mentioned that to him again, saying, you ought to be our defensive line coach. He dapped me up and all. But yeah, like Steph said, he was like, yeah. Because I told him, I said, it's gotten worse. It's gotten worse than what you told us 7-8 years ago. It's gotten worse. The fundamentals of being a defensive lineman. You only got some stellar guys like J.J. Watt and some others, Max Crosby right now, that have that natural Bruce Smith type mentality, and Lawrence Taylor and Greg Townsend type natural ability and, technique. Your Kevin Greens and Greg Lloyds and people like that. And now it's too robotic.
Right.
So too situational, and this is why you're getting so many injuries. Right. The Joey Bosa's. Joey Bosa, fucking second year with his brother. One of them. When he injured his first year, second year. He was for the Niners.
No, the Niner.
Both of them.
Yeah, both of them.
Both
Bosas? That's Dos Bosas.
That's Dos Bosas.
Dos Bosas. Dos Bosas. So anyway, thank you for all you folks over there at the Westgate, man. It was good to see y'all and what have you. And so back to the draft. Yeah, a bunch of people getting together, thinking like-mindedly about a bad fucking pick. And so, as we segue here into our Oakland Las Vegas Raider portion draft recap of the whole damn thing, Alex Leatherwood was your first round pick, and I don't know what to say other than, there's a bunch of guys that, you could have picked before Alex Leatherwood if that was the way you were going. Elijah Pierre Tucker, who ended up going in the second round of USC. From USC, it was Rashawn Slater. From Northwestern, you even had Tavon Jenkins out of Oklahoma State and Christian Darrisaw. These guys were much more highly scouted and highly touted than Alex Leatherwood. And at some point during the draft, that we were watching it once that pick came in, the great prognosticator, whatever you want to call him when it comes to draft guru, Todd McShay on ESPN, and Mel Kiper Jr. both said, it was nobody's featured board as far as an offensive line.
It was featured on the Raiders board because they got the guy that they wanted. I saw Alex Leatherwood's name on WalterFootball.com for the past 3 weeks, thinking the same thing. Alex Leatherwood, who's that? And I looked up on him, thought of it. It's not like he popped off the screen to me because they all look good when you see the highlights on YouTube and things like that.
Right.
But as far as Mike Mayock and John Gruden were concerned, they got their guy from Alabama. He was scouted high on their board. He blocked for Josh Jacobs. He's worked with Henry Ruggs. I saw him walk into the new facility, shaking Lincoln Kennedy's hand. He's as big as Lincoln Kennedy.
Right.
I mean, he's a big
guy.
He's a big guy. Played 4 years in college, 2 championships. So I mean, he had the pedigree and he had the athletic ability that I think that the Raiders wanted. And we all talked about the fact that they would get a lineman one way or the other. They have the void. No more Trent Brown, no more Gabe Jackson, no more Rodney Hudson. So they had to at least do something to address the line with youth. Considering that Colt Miller was at least a good draft pick now a couple years later down the road, you have to we have no choice now but to wait and see when it comes to Alex Leatherwood. I think he has an awesome name. I think it's going to look good on a jersey. Leatherwood.
Yeah, that's an awesome name.
As a Raiders.
I'm trying to think what plantation they had with Leatherwood. So what kind of lineage is the Leatherwoods around this little bit? I mean,
Hey,
you don't know the Leatherwood family,
right?
You were in the mix, you got drafted, and in terms of Leatherwood, I'm speaking to you, you got drafted.
You're talking to Leatherwood right now. I'm talking to you, Leatherwood.
And just get out there and do what you're supposed to do. You're all supposed to be, now you're professional football players. coming out of college. Now it's time to move into the pros, and it'd be great, from the very beginning. And this is why I have an issue with this pick and most picks. I mean, they never go in the direction I want them to go in, right? But they did get safeties, a little bit too many.
I'm gonna make a claim here. This is where I say I called it. And when I say I called it, it's something I definitely wanted to happen.
Well, Raider Homer really called it, though. In the moment.
He
called it. He called offensive lineman.
I'm calling the next round. I didn't call.
Oh, you called more.
Oh, you called.
Oh, hell yeah. You called more.
I called that we would go for alignment.
Yes.
But I also went as far as saying that if there's a way to trade up into that high in that second round to get someone that you really want, I would go for Trayvon Merrick.
But you called the player. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You called the player exact.
Right.
Trayvon Merrick was the top-rated safety in the college at TCU. I've watched enough of him on YouTube and any kind of highlights I've had the opportunity to see. He has a lot of leadership skills, confidence, smarts. He takes great angles. They always talk about angles. He takes awesome angles. He anticipates, he looks at the quarterback, he watches the ball. And apparently, again, Mike Mayock thought that highly of them too. And he knows he needed to get Gus Bradley, somebody to work with the secondary to help get him better. But now if you're looking at the smarts, hopefully, of Trayvon Merrick, the athleticism, combined with the aggression of Jonathan Abram and the two young corners, and they just we didn't get Richard Sherman yet, but it's looking less likely because we did sign a cornerback. What was his name?
We have a few quarterbacks.
Well, while you're looking for his name, it's funny that it's interesting.
Nate Hobbs.
Caleb.
No, that's who drafted.
Oh, we drafted.
Caleb.
Look, you see we have to dig into our notes.
I had it in front of me just before I did the show tonight.
No, but it's interesting that you mentioned that about...
It's the corner that played for the Chargers for 2 years under Gus Bradley. 31 years old.
I can't think of his name, but that was interesting that you mentioned, about the competition and about Mooring and what he brings to the field with angles and all that. Because when we were checking out at the Rio the next day, ran into Kenneth and LaShawn, what's up to y'all, Johnson, who are Isaiah Johnson's family, our second-year cornerback, who got some time late last year with Trayvon Mullins and due to injuries and whatever, he got in there. And we ran into them, and that's what I was talking to his Uncle Kenneth about. His tackling and his angles is what he's got to work on. He's a smart player. He's got a little physicality to him. And, when he asked me, when you're a Raider fan, and I was like, yeah, man. And he told me he was. Like, yeah, he's got to work on his fucking tackling. He's a garbage tackler. But anyway, and we were talking angles. And Kenneth said that whole DB backfield has got to work on their angles. And he said that he shows Isaiah film. They look at old film of Willie Brown, old film of Lester Hayes, and high five. I'm like, that's what's up, man. Teach this kid away from what they're teaching him, just so he has a balance. So he has something to be able to reference and yeah, okay, my coach is teaching me this, but I know I'm at home watching film. Not only what we're doing, Steph, but also his uncle's got him watching some of the greats in Raider history. And that's great,
But just what you just said there, the whole squad.
Hope I didn't bust y'all out or anything.
The whole squad has issues with angles. And so again, that goes back to coaching. So that's why I'm not really touted highly with, the draft picks, because development hasn't been a thing for the Raiders. And a lot of these deals are just a few years, and then, you're looking at making some changes again down the line. I mean, I don't know what the philosophy is. I don't see with their picks what they're trying to do, other than, okay, yes, you've got several linebackers that you brought in. You've got an old lineman, you got rid of the 3 veterans. One in particular, you should have really thought about Hudson. He had plenty more years.
Yeah, I mean, but now you bring in Morrissey, who's the center. You got Andre James. They're obviously going youth on the
got
offensive
Nick Martin,
line.
too. We got
Nick Martin.
They're
They're going youth, and then with Leatherwood, you're looking at him to be the anchor For me, personally, it's you again trying to prolong the inevitable by keeping Derek Carr's ass upright and getting him new protections because you're bought into him. I think that there's some crack in that in the last week due to what's happened in the last 72 hours, which we'll talk about in a moment when it comes to quarterbacks. But that's obviously what they're doing. Building a new, younger offensive line to protect an older quarterback. Who is getting older and who right now seem to be invested in.
Life.
Or if he doesn't produce this year, maybe they go out and get that young quarterback, and now they got a line already built to protect whoever that is.
Yeah.
It's the line. It doesn't matter. It's the Raiders' O-line, man. You got to have a solid O-line. We lost 2
Well, we're talking angles. There's always an angle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you cut a bunch of people. But you still got Colt Miller. You still got, some pieces, from what we know. And I'm all for change. But are you changing for the better with Leatherwood as opposed to what really is our Achilles heel defense? And you could have got a linebacker there, all right, and then or took your boy, but they were able to get him anyway because they traded up with him, so they wanted him. They've been listening to Stone. I like Malcolm Kuntz. That's a good pickup. Was there a better linebacker you could have gotten in the first round? Sure, your boy Michael Parsons, which I called. He went to Dallas. Okay.
Dallas swooped.
Yeah,
what?
Yeah.
We saw that coming.
So they picked him up. But I like Kuntz. I was watching Kuntz this past year because I was watching Jared Patterson, the young running back up there that I thought we might have an opportunity and had him on my list. Yeah. So Kuntz, though, is a makeup call for Khalid and Mack. It's very obvious. Let's not be folios here. Okay, that's what that's a makeup call for, and they're crossing their fingers that they can get someone with the same type of production or better, okay, or comparable enough, serviceable enough production out of him that it looks like we replaced Khalil Mack. I see what the fuck you slick little crooks are doing over there. Okay, I see what you're doing. All right, don't you're not fooling old Roddy. All right.
Just the difference in the war room, the war room when they showed it. I started looking up.
Look like a box of vanilla wafers in that war room, man.
It's not.
What's up, Mark Davis? I mean, you allegedly was supporting, George Floyd's family a few weeks ago.
Wait. Are you saying there was no black people in the war room?
You damn right. Black, brown, purple, yellow, silver. There was no silver
like me.
No, you're cooler looking than them.
I'm trying
They look like a bunch of motherfuckers from a startup subsidiary of Microsoft. Okay?
They did.
Micro Helisoft is what they looked like.
Micro Helisoft.
And then it's like, and then Mark, you weren't there all these years. I'm watching the War Room and I'm seeing, Jim Otto leave or, my boy coming, Phil Villapiano.
He's not Stephen Jones.
He's
not
Stephen
Stephen
hasn't
Jones.
been there.
He's not Mike Bidwell.
To see you there now, it's just it's great, But wow, if you could have been in that room with your dad when he was making these kind of moves, and why the old Raider players that were the championship Raiders were in the room. There were no Raiders in that room.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
It was totally corporate, and that's why we're looking at what we're looking at. Just the lack of real fire.
Trickle down.
Yeah.
I mean, the fucking button-up shirts and the khakis, and the velvet rope mentality they got going there, and it's not so much it was a bunch of white guys in there, but the bottom line is, when you look at it, that there was more of a diversity with Al Davis's front office, and it was even smaller too.
Yes.
Now I know technology and advancements and all that, but football is still a pretty simple game. On defense, get the guy with the fucking football, and on offense, put it over the goal line. And it's all about how you do that. But all this other complexities and shit, you go on their website and look at all the people working for them. Al Davis is rolling over in his grave. And a lot of other executives that with other organizations. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers notoriously have always had, even when they were losing, had 30, 40 people working for them. It's like you're fucking constantly 5 and 11. You got all these people working for you. And other garbage organizations. It's like how many motherfuckers it take to turn on a camera? You got 10 people in your damn audio visual department.
Right.
You know, it's just ridiculous.
Right.
It's a waste. You know, it's not football.
It's not.
You know, and we're one of those franchises where our image
Who are the
and
Scouts?
what we stand for is built on football-only type principle. It's a football first principle.
Yeah.
You know, marketing shouldn't be hard, particularly now that we're in Las Vegas. So you got all these ancillary ass motherfuckers that are doing all this other shit that's connected with marketing and which are doing kind of a piss poor job at that. Okay, but yet, you know, you don't have a lot of skilled football people.
Right.
And again, like she
Right.
said, and like we've been saying, Raiderfy this shit, man.
Right.
You know, Raiderfy it.
Right.
Bring that, and it's not there. And that war room just looked like I said, a bunch of startup sons and nephews or friends type
Right,
shit. It
right.
looked like a bunch of motherfuckers getting together after they played a couple rounds of golf at some fat mansion.
Or Madden.
Playing,
Yeah.
you know, playing,
We were very young.
playing drafties,
Right.
draft
Right.
kits.
Play chess with
Right.
players.
Right.
Well, I do like Malcolm Kuntz too. I think he's just another young guy that's hungry to get to the quarterback, and we need as many of those as we can get, obviously.
Definitely.
I also like the defensive back / linebacker, and I love his name.
It's his name you love.
No.
I know what you're going to say.
I've been watching him. I watched
Okay.
it. I at least did myself, or you and myself, the service of at least watching some of these guys play a little bit.
Yeah.
As far as their highlights and whatever they have on them. But Divine Diablo.
Yeah.
So we got Leatherwood, we got Diablo.
Yeah, the name. We're leading in the name department.
What
Right.
I like
In the
about
cool name
what I
department.
like about Divine Diablo, what I like about Tyree Gillespie, the safety, and cornerback Nate Hobbs,
Yeah.
is that they're all young from smaller schools. They're not the big names, but they're definitely guys that like to go out and hit and play physical football. So at least you're getting some young guys to go along with these guys. These names we're talking about. Any one of these guys could just like all of a sudden rise up in camp and be the guy, you know?
Man, you said something interesting in the Draftcast or a sidebar to me when you mentioned John Abrams on notice. Why don't you tell the people what you meant by that?
Well, it's funny you say that too, because today there was an ad that came out, or not an ad, but a story. Some reporter out there, John Abrams on notice. Yes, Jonathan Abram is on notice. We just got 2 safeties in the draft. We brought in who's our guy who got from back from the Bronx?
Carl Joseph.
Carl Joseph. Okay, so we got some bodies in that room now. Jonathan Abram, with all his bravado and with all his, we love the way he hits.
Yes.
And we do love the way he hits. When he plays, he plays. But he's missed a lot so far, and the number one word of John Gruden's always availability. If you're not available, you're not playing. If you're not playing, what are you doing? You're not rated. Okay?
Yeah.
You're not doing your job. So Jonathan Abram, I hope, is at least, I mean, look, he is who he is. Maybe it's a wake-up call, maybe it's not. And I hope he just looks at this as a way to compete and work with more talent to try to solidify the position. But Jonathan Abram, yeah, you just spent that second pick on him just a couple 3 years ago.
Right.
And all of a sudden you're filling the room up with safeties again
See what I mean?
2 drafts later.
See
So
what
yeah,
I mean?
he's
Get
on
the
notice.
guy that you know and that you want. Then, you know, really be studying that. I mean, it's simple. Like you were saying, football is simple. Raider football is even simpler. When you just think of the principles and just understanding technique and being able to do to be like the top physical presence at your position. And Raiders came in with that. And that's what I'm saying. Now you have Jonathan Abram on those.
Well, this reminds me of some
He should be able to be here.
This
for a
reminds me some
minute.
years ago when we had Gerard Cooper, who was a hitter, and then we drafted the Mike Mitchells, and who was the kid, Michael Ruff from Texas.
Michael Huff.
Yeah, Michael Huff.
It was that
Michael
same
Ruff.
type of-
He was rough.
and Mike Mitchell, and they all flamed out, but it was that same type of pattern. I
Right.
don't know, it was a different coaching staff.
Right. Oh, they were top defensive
Yeah.
backs that were
Yes.
highly rated in the draft that were
Are
expected
they
to change the
being-
franchise.
Are they being tutelaged? Like, are
Tutelage?
we,
Tutelage?
Yeah, like, are we working with them? Find that word. Search that.
Tutelage.
I mean, are they learning? We're not developing them. They're not becoming any better. And like you said,
Yeah,
fluidity,
because you're constantly looking to
you're not-
replace and bring
Yes.
in. That's what I'm saying. You're not getting. This is why.
Consistency.
Yeah, you've got to, like you said, commit to guys that you really want,
and work.
and then you've got to give yourself a 3 to 5 year window. with the ones that you really want to see blossom and be, leaders and stars of the team. And so if you're already, like Stone said, putting pressure on Jonathan Aberman in his second year,
Man.
Third, 30, okay.
But he missed a whole year.
Right.
Are you about done with him already?
Right.
Type
Now
shit?
you're gonna receive.
You're not sure of him yet. I mean, he's got to change his technique. Leading with the head, he's going to be out a lot. He's got to start leading with the shoulder. Another one's got to work on his angles. His tackling is great. His intensity is great. Yeah, you want guys like him, and I can see them doing that. We've been preaching that on the show. You want intense, aggressive, physical guys. That's the type of team we want to be. And so that's cool that they're getting guys like that. Looks like Hobbs is that type of guy. Your boy Divine is like that. Diablo, El Dima.
They released Jeff Heath today.
Right.
I like him.
So
he might be back though.
We liked him. You're right. He comes
But you
back.
bring back Joseph, and then you cut Heath.
It's a full room. It's definitely a full. The safety position with the Raiders is definitely filled up. Right now, at least you got a lot of hardcore talent that's going to fight to go play on the field.
That spot.
Let's see who gets that spot.
Who gets that.
And then we got Jim Morrissey from Pittsburgh, the young center. This kind of reminds me when we took Jay Grove. Andre James, I understand, I found out he's been here. You guys got him in the last show. Okay, he's been here, and that's a guy that you're trusting right now. We already said we're going young there. But that's an interesting pick because he's not a long snapper. He's a straight up center.
He's just a center.
So is it a possibility that he's starting out as center, but maybe like young Steven Wisniewski?
Yeah.
To another
wherever he can play.
We drafted him as I don't know, but
Probably my prediction is
we're thinning O-line, but we're building some.
My prediction is to be on the practice squad, which is good enough for me. In other words, we want.
Why wouldn't you be the backup center to?
I think Nick Martin.
Andre James.
I think right now Nick Martin will probably be the one.
Nick Martin could get beat out.
Could.
We need competition in this damn camp, man.
Well, they got some Morris. There's the competition for you. I'm just telling you what. I'm just telling you what I think is going to go into the year. I just think we're going to go with Andre James and Nick Martin.
Well, right now the worst thing
You've been calling
is that we're going into the year.
I got two guys. Lastly, we're going on the draft. On the draft.
No.
With the undrafted, I looked at that list. The undrafted free agents that we picked up.
All right.
We picked up 6 different free agents. Okay, so there's a couple that I'm saying keep your eyes out on. One particular is wide receiver Dylan Stoner.
Oh, the name
From
game.
Oklahoma State.
Divine Leatherwood Stoner.
We got a Stoner on the team, man. It's official.
Oh, he signed?
He's
Welcome to the team,
Yeah.
Stone.
We got a Stoner on the Raiders.
All right, this is for you. This is for you, Dylan.
There you
Welcome to the Raiders.
Celebrate. Welcome to Las Vegas.
Right?
Dylan Stoner.
He's one of those dudes who's kind of like a Wayne Corbett. He doesn't look like he's the biggest, strongest wide receiver on the squad, but for some reason he gets open and he makes big catches downfield.
Does he return kicks?
I imagine
I hope
so.
they got you for that.
So.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna be doing instead of Hunter Renfro.
When nothing happened,
You're gonna put the Stoner out there to return kicks.
Yes, why not?
Yes. Oh, wow. Okay.
Hey, you'll root for him.
He's high enough.
And the other guy is a running back. I think you're gonna like a little
Okay,
bit.
I said we needed a running back.
Garrett Groshek. What I like about this dude, he's not the guy like Josh Jacobs with the cuts and the moves. He's the opposite.
He's a north-south
He
guy.
goes straight right up the
North-south,
middle. He
north-south,
finds the
yeah.
hole and he just. And again, he's not the biggest guy on the field, but for some reason, he's fearless. Number one, he's fearless as fuck.
So another fearless little.
Straight up the middle.
Hard-hitter.
He's not necessarily little.
Okay.
I'm just saying that
He's physical.
he's very physical.
And he think
can get in.
Herschel Walker, think Wheatley.
Okay.
Just north-south.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? North-south.
Wheatley's perfect.
Okay.
That type of guy. Yeah, he's not juking and jiving. He's not doing it right there, right in your face.
Well, that's good because you can now do some combinations when he's in there with Ingo.
Right.
Or he's in there passed up at fullback, possibly go out in the flat and catch a pass with Jacobs. A little misdirection because the kid, from what I heard, has got some athleticism to him. Is that true, Stone? Is he athletic?
I'm telling you, man, you're gonna like this kid. Like I said,
Tommy Vardell
you're
again.
gonna at least like watching him in preseason and go. he's gonna, I think, he can get at least a chance to play, and you can be
Good.
fun to watch.
Good.
You know.
Okay.
All right, now real quick, Stone, let's talk about some guys that we had wanted, and I've got where my top would have wanted players went, because we had a few of them. I'll just run down a few of mine real quick. I had my eyes on, obviously.
Well, are you gonna start with your boy? Your boy, Trevor Raider. Just not this year, apparently.
It didn't happen.
Hey, wait, real quick, Raider Rob. You should at least, I think, you should address this audience that has supported you now with this year-long campaign, and the name Trevor Raider has spread across the internet universe because of your vision of how you wanted him to be a Raider.
Yeah, well, I will say that all those people that supported me, including Giannis and some others, he's the enemy now! And when he brings his ass in that stadium down the road, you fucking give him hell. You understand? You pull him by his blonde locks and you tell him, listen here, cutie pie, it's not gonna be a great day for you in Vegas. You understand? And what happens here gets fucking buried in the damn turf here. Okay? That's what you do for Trevor Lawrence when he comes to fucking Las Vegas. You understand? Anyway, I'm quite,
You're over Trevor Lawrence, apparently.
quite disappointed.
You've moved on.
That it didn't happen. But I wish the kid well. And I will be rooting for him, keeping an eye on him. And one day, maybe he will be a Las Vegas
It could
Raider.
happen.
Yeah.
Jacksonville
Nice. Get him
did
down.
some.
I gotta add to what your Trevor Raider.
They got your boy J2.
I didn't want him as much as you wanted Trevor Raider, but I definitely wanted my defensive tackle. I
Yeah.
wanted in this
They had a
draft.
good draft, man. They had a
I
decent
talked
draft.
about him all season long and off season long. I wanted J2 Faley out of USC, and when I woke up Saturday morning and saw the very first pick of the day by the Jacksonville Jaguars, who already had their not their Jags Raider. Well, not Jags Raider. Trevor Jag Trader? What are you, Trevor? What are you gonna call him now? Trevor Jaguar?
Trevor the Kitty.
Well, Trevor the Kitty's got a big old mean dog on the other side of the ball, and his name is J2 Faley, and we'll definitely be watching some Jacksonville Jaguars football.
And I like the running back, Travis.
That's pretty bad when I can admit that to the world.
I know. It's
He got his Clemson teammate Travis Etienne, who was also going to be there in Jacksonville with him. Now I really thought when it came to draft that it would have been great if a guy like Etienne would have went to like
What's his name?
a Los Angeles Chargers or to a Buffalo Bills. Etienne, Travis Etienne.
Travis Etienne.
Yes, he's what's the place down in Jamaica? It's Caribbean.
Caribbean.
Not African. It's Caribbean. Close. They dropped them off first. So.
RaiderFan.
Yeah,
So Jackson, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Urban Meyer's come out today talking about how he wants Tim Tebow. He thinks Tebow.
Yeah, they've given Tebow a tryout as a tight end. What's up with that?
I think it's just it's lack of focus. You just got your first round superstar quarterback, and now
Are you Tebowing?
he's Tebowing, yes. And now you're talking about Tim Tebow. Okay, yeah, tight end, sure. You like Tim Tebow because you want him to try to coach Trevor Lawrence.
Tebow's the
No.
girlfriend that won't go away. and when it comes to professional sports.
I don't get
And we'll get it. It's novelty act. And because Urban Meyer coached him at Florida. So Urban Meyer tried to give him an opportunity with his last gasp.
He's trying to get his guy back with the band back
I
together.
mean, you're just trying to force a professional career on him.
Right,
You know,
he was cool doing
he had some fleeting moments in Denver,
Right,
some
he
good moments in
accepted it.
Denver and all that. No, he hasn't accepted it.
because he keeps coming
When
back.
he keeps coming back, he keeps begging for a job. He tried baseball,
Right.
pro lacrosse. I don't know. He tried a
Yeah.
bunch of shit, and he sucks at all of it. You know, and
Right.
so this is just novelty bullshit. I hope Trevor Lawrence ain't even got time for that shit. Trevor Lawrence is much more accomplished than Tim Tebow, and it doesn't need to take quarterback tips from Tim Tebow.
Nah, this
Okay.
kid is like, give me my stuff in some Bitcoin.
So Jacksonville's doing
Cash
something
and
nice
Bitcoin.
down there, and it looks like it's going to be exciting, despite what I thought. They are trying to make some moves, but I don't trust Urban Meyer, and like I said, good luck to
Yeah.
TL16, and maybe one day he will be a Raider. But some of the other guys, Eric Stokes, I called him and had him on my list, just so y'all will see. And you're probably not going to be able to see it, but this was from a couple of weeks ago. No, you're not gonna be able to see it, so we'll post it up there. But anyway, Eric Stokes. Eric Stokes. No, give me it. That's not it. That's all right. Eric Stokes.
See if I can get the lighting. See, it's all
Eric Stokes was the guy I had on my board. Okay. For the Raiders to take him maybe the second or third round, that's where he was projected to possibly go. And he ended up going in the first round, number 29 to Green Bay. You know, so called it.
Yeah,
called it Eric Stokes. Monty Rice was another guy that I was looking at, a linebacker that I had on my list, on my board. He ended up in Tennessee. He's kind of a Willie McGinnis type linebacker, and Martin Fable being the coach down in Tennessee, you know, obviously saw that. And is going to try to pair his defense and make his model his defense after what he played with up in New England.
I saw that Jeremiah Orosi Koromora went to the Browns. Think about what the Browns are doing when they got Jadeveon Clowney.
He also has a heart condition they found out. That's why his stock dropped.
Oh, really?
So much. That's some type of.
Well, he just bolstered a defense in Cleveland.
Oh, with Myles Garrett?
With Jadeveon Clowney, exactly, and Myles Garrett, and everybody else they got on their team. The fact that they made it deep into the season looking like a real team and then into the playoffs.
They did.
I think for me, I mean, I've had so many drafts in my lifetime. Some of them just kind of went by, and I really didn't care too much. For me, this was at least fun to watch.
Oh, yeah. Joseph Asai, Cincinnati, Richie Grant, Atlanta, Elijah Mitchell, the running back that I was talking about out of Louisiana, who sounds like much of this guy that you said we picked up, Grushak.
Garrett Groshek.
Although Elijah can do some things. Went to San Francisco. They took him early in the second round. So the Niners were listening to old Uncle Rob, too. And Jared Patterson, who I talked about out of Buffalo, he ended up signing with Washington. Free agent deal, didn't get drafted. Ian Book was the quarterback I was looking at out of Notre Dame when it came to if we drafted a quarterback in later rounds like Chucky likes to do and the Raiders have been prone to do, going all the way back to Scotty Dreisbach and some other T. Martin. Not T. Martin. God, I can't think of who it is right now. Andrew Walter. But yeah, so, but he ended up getting signed with the Saints. To the Saints. So anyway, and Chuba Hubbard goes to the Panthers. I thought he would have been a nice pickup at running back.
I can't believe. Well, I believe, but when I saw the New York Jets get their guy in Zach Wilson at the second overall of all those quarterbacks, I mean, I don't feel sorry for Jets fans, but I know what it must be like to sit and have to watch that, because I'm telling you right now, I mean, I felt this way a little bit about Kyle Murray, and Kyle Murray's proven me wrong. Zach Wilson's going to do a lot to prove the NFL that he's going to be the next quarterback that was worth a second overall pick.
Well, you know, the thing that...
And the Texans really fucked this year.
The thing about the Jets with Zach Wilson is, Zach Wilson, believe it or not, might be, outside of Trevor Lawrence, the most ready to go on Sunday. You know, not to take anything away from Mac Jones or Justin Fields or even Trey Lance. But where they go, the schools that they go to, went to, I mean, yeah, you got Ohio State, didn't really get a full season, what have you. But BYU, for all the lack of big-time quarterbacks that have came out of there outside of Steve Young and Jim McMahon and, you know, you had Ty Detmer and what have you. But they play a pro-style offense up there at BYU. Yeah. Always have, just like Boise State. Yeah. You know, and so cats coming out of BYU are very pro-football minded. That's just part of their coach up there. No matter what coach comes, that's just part of the temple of BYU football. And so there's been a while since the BYU quarterback has been pretty prominent, but they churn him out every 10, 15 years. He might be the one. And I think that he's the most ready to go on Sunday.
Okay.
You know, next to Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson. And I think he can handle that New York thing much like Josh Allen from Wyoming handled going to Buffalo, which is not a big media market, but is a market that rivals Green Bay with that. That's all that's on top of you all the time is their football team, and they have an expectation. And you're going to hear about it in the media there. You know, Zach, I think, will bring that kind of aw shucks, I'm a kid from Utah vibe to it. And he seems a little more adjusted socially than Mac Jones is. who seems like just a straight square, and Archie and Happy.
Well, this will be fun to watch what happens there, because I predict when he gets hit by a real NFL defensive end or defensive tackle and smacks him into the ground. I mean, for the first time, from that point on with the Jets, they got a lot of work to do. They're a whole new team.
But that'll win you in New York.
New head coach.
They gotta win him in New York, though. They know that's coming. They know that New York Jets. That'll win him, and that'll win him favor in New York, because they know that's coming. Jet fans are savvy. They've been watching this team lose for so long. They know what they want to see in a winner, and what they want to see is grit. That's the main thing that's been missing in their quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Is gritty quarterbacks. And Ken O'Brien was kind of gritty. Of course, everything is Namath related in some way. But Zach Wilson, if he gets back up off of that first hit from that 270 lineman coming around, they're going to love it. And he can throw a completion after that, and there's some consistency, and just there's a promise. Darnold, it was spotty, just like with Sanchez. It was spotty, and they all came in highly talented.
Prove me wrong, Zach Wilson.
The University of Spoiled Children.
To be continued.
Yeah, to be continued. Anyway, any of your guys go anywhere?
No, I think I pretty much got the guy. I mean, I was pretty much Micah Parsons and
did Jay Tufele?
Trayvon. Yeah, he went to
talked about it. Where were you the last?
He's the Jaguars.
Oh, grab the herb. Everyone's got an excuse.
Short-term memory's not working too good right now.
That's it.
But yeah, Jay.
I got my guy. I got Trevon Moehrig. I keep saying his name wrong too. It's Moehrig. I don't know. It's got an O, but it's Moehrig.
Yeah.
He's our guy. He's my guy. We got him. So I'm happy for now.
Yeah.
Let's play football.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's truly what's up.
We'll see. I'm just looking forward.
We were out and went to the stadium the other day. We met up with Raider Man. What's up, Raider Man? Raider Man also was here and did a great job. Had a great little back and forth with Raider Home on the Draftcast, and a lot of you might have saw if you were watching this live. But he hung out. He was here too to do the thing at the Westgate or what have you. But it was good to see Raider Man, and then we ended up meeting with him before he left and flew out just to chop it up. And
a lot of fans flew in just to be here for the draft.
Yeah, it was a great show.
I mean, the draft wasn't here in Vegas, but Raider fans were here in Vegas.
Well, next year.
Oh, it's just gonna get it's gonna be intense.
So we met him over at the stadium, and you'll probably see a picture flash up here in a moment. We went over to the stadium, and we're hanging out over there for a minute. And you did some reporting on the ground.
Of course.
Lady on the street reporting.
The beautiful Black Hole staff.
Yes, I wish I had
reporting from the Death Star.
Okay, reporting straight from the Death Star. And a Raider fan, Travis from Arizona, what's up? Hopefully you'll be tuning in and listening. He came up to the stadium to try to see about the tours and, go in and check it out. And, there were a lot of people pulling up to the stadium trying to get in and see. But he was turned away. And so I stopped him.
Where did he come from?
He's from Arizona.
Arizona.
Right.
He came by just to hang out and got turned away from the stadium.
Right, exactly. Because they have this process that they want you to do in order to be able to see. First of all, you got to sign up online before you go in.
For the tour of the stadium now. They just do it, yeah.
Right, but he didn't know that, so he's thinking, I can just go up, I'll pay to go in, check it out. He's like, man, whatever, I'll see it eventually. He was all stoked up to go in, which is disappointing. And I kept looking at people come, drive up, try to go in, and then leave. So there must have all been turned away by an online process that you have to use before you're able to go into the stadium. I guess you're scheduling that visit online. And you can't sit in your car and do it on your phone.
Right.
They have to end up replying to you and telling you when you can actually come in. So he was really disappointed in his mission. He was like, yeah, forget about it. I'm not coming back. I'll see it eventually. At least I'll see it on TV. It's kind of like what he was saying.
Do you think it should be easier for fans to get tours of the stadium?
Of course.
Yes.
And they're fucking up. Sort of giving them an idea again. You're going against the grain of what Las Vegas is.
Right.
This is an open society here. These casino doors are open. Even during the COVID, hotels were still open selectively. You know what I'm saying? This whole thing of cashless, you know, where this is the most cash-driven city in America, and this whole, I gotta go online, you should have just had booths out front. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand, folks. They're now an attraction, Stone. They're a tourist attraction.
Right.
That building's just not a football field.
It's a mecca.
You know, I was watching the fans.
It's like going to the
very
Vatican.
few fans that were in the parking lot when we were at going into the place had Raider shit on. And some of them you could tell were from international. You know, they just looked international. Got their, you know, sweaters around their waist.
Their fanny packs.
All that kind of
glasses on the street.
with no teams on or anything.
Right.
So it's an attraction. You want it to be welcoming. And you want it to be easy for people to give you their fucking money. You don't want it to be complicated. This is something that the LA snobs with their velvet rope mentality don't fucking understand. This is a place where people come to give you your money. They will do it willfully. Don't make it hard on them.
People come here with all their money and want to give you all of it.
Yes. They
In
want to
Vegas.
buy a shirt.
Like everything they own. Their life savings.
Right.
The shirt off their back.
Right. He walked away. You know, he had money in his pocket. He's a Raider fan. You know, we're gonna buy stuff wherever, especially whatever is Raider. We're gonna go in there. So that should have been open. You know, just have it.
Well, he had to get in first to get to the store.
Right.
You know, now who knows how much money they lost? And a lot of others, because I saw a lot of people going over and coming right back.
Me too. That's
You
why
know?
I stopped him. I'm
You
like,
know?
why aren't you?
It's supposed to be a pull-up thing. You're new here.
Right.
You know, don't start with your
Should
restrictive
be definitely be
bullshit.
turning a lot less people away.
Right. Bringing people in.
Bring them in.
The
Well, you're
Golden Knights
looking
did
prejudiced,
really well.
is what you're looking like. You know, and not on cultural color lines, just in general. You're looking
Class.
yeah,
Social
class.
you're looking elitist,
Definitely
you're looking elitist,
Definitely.
you know, and you're looking prejudiced.
Right.
You know, and you need to just have a booth out there.
Relax. with
And
people.
yeah,
Not
relax,
like
lighten the fuck up.
You know?
And let people come give you their money. Just have the booth open. People want to come in and take 30, 50, whatever at a time and tour. And 10 minutes after that tour starts, start the next
Yeah.
one.
Just like
Quit
Disney- like
being
Disneyland.
fucking lazy.
Don't they do that at Disneyland?
Fucking
Yeah.
LA motherfucker.
And Disneyland is now. So, hello, get it done.
Raiderland.
You know, yes.
So that's that corporate LA laziness. You know, because look at LA and Hollywood now.
Too
All them
great.
damn remakes. You know,
Right.
all these damn remakes, all these damn copies, all these damn adaptations of TV shows, all these damn Marvel comic movies and shit like that. And they're getting worse. They're not getting better. How many more fucking King Kongs and Fast and Furiouses are you gonna do?
Right.
That's that lazy ass LA mentality. No offense to Los Angeles Raider fans and Compton and the Crips and Bloods and shit like that in the Vatos. Not talking about y'all and the people downtown in Skid Row. I'm talking about the elite of Los Angeles.
Right.
You know, and that mentality that comes there.
Right.
You know, and that's, you know, they wanted to go back to LA and you still may get your fucking wish one day if I have mine. Keep sucking. Keep fucking up and sucking. I got a grand plan. I can't wait to unveil this one.
So yeah, bring them in, man, and that's just it's sad to see. You know, so hopefully things change a little bit, but it does show you that there is more of an attraction. You know, there is more of not really football fans, because think about it, this is business, and Vegas is all about business and money too. So a lot of people bought those
You don't
tickets.
turn money
They're not
away.
necessarily
You don't
football
turn
fans,
money
you know?
away in Las Vegas for anything other than violence and open prostitution. That's it.
Open
Yeah.
prostitution.
And you're not old enough.
Scissoring.
And you're not old enough. And you're not old enough.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. That was totally
And you're not
against
old
the
enough.
against the culture of Las Vegas right there.
Right.
And so already they're starting
What?
off not knowing what the fuck they're doing.
Don't
You
turn
know, that's
people
supposed to be
away.
an open, come one, come all. You know?
Yeah.
That don't you see what's going on around you?
Raider fans are, like I said,
Stupid
Oakland,
ass cocksucker
Afghanistan.
Mark Verdane. Don't know what the
There's
fuck you
got
doing.
to be, you know, more people coming from all over the world here. So let's welcome them.
Well, there was a cat that came from a part of the world, southern Texas, boy Homer. And then there's also some cats, John Gruden, who came from Monday Night Football and his football camp, where he teaches quarterbacks to play like Derek Carr. And then Mike Mayock, who came from the NFL Network. What kind of heart are those cats? on the Draftcast. And I want to say, you know, yeah, I went kind of hard on you. And I'm sorry I said fuck you guys. I really like Mike.
Wait, I'm missing part of the story here.
Yeah, well, you were right there.
But I'm missing part of the story.
That's that too.
Well, part of the story is when they made the draft pick of Alex Leatherwood, I said, fuck you, Mike Mayock, which I did not mean. And fuck you, Jackie, which I also
said it. I didn't mean it.
What was in the moment? Because about that pick. But it may have came off that I was saying screw them all, you know, totally. And I'm not saying that. I do like John Gruden. We wanted John Gruden back. We just showed one of our classic shows where we talked about John Gruden. You know,
John Gruden since 1998.
One of the first fans to meet John Gruden. Okay, when he got hired, you know, at Weeks Park at the Run Run Jones softball tournament in '97. So, you know, love Chucky, man. Mayock, been watching him for years on TV. Thought he'd always be a great GM and fantasized about him.
You called it.
Coming here and called it.
Oh, Mike
and Mayock is here. Yes, I called that one. I forgot. Thank you, Stone. You're a great man there. And so, yeah. So I'm sorry, guys. It was just a pick. I'm not as bought in as these two are, but I would have liked to have seen some type of splashy pick there or trade or something like that. So I'm sorry. It's not fuck you. Okay. It's just fuck you. You know, I was mad. Okay. Homer.
I was mad.
Great exchange. It was some.
You're talking to Raider Homer now.
Yeah, I'm talking to Raider Homer.
He's right there.
Raider Homer channel.
Liking and subscribing.
You know, probably not. He might be mad at me. I don't know. We had a little, you know, intense exchange over some things that, you know, are not so interpersonal, but just some things on the peripheral of which been a running thread about the Raider Nation and blah 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 and all that. You know, on that point that you weren't seeming to understand, dude, is this. When it comes to the Cats with the magazine, they're using something that I created that you and a lot of others won't publicly acknowledge. You know, you won't respect the truth. And I'm in about the truth. You were texting me when that whole thing was happening with Wikipedia about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago with that guy. And when my people put the thing up, the truth up there on that page, all that drama started. You know what I'm saying? And dude was taking his shit down and you could see him editing shit. And it got smaller and smaller.
Right.
So, you know, it's obvious who's telling the truth here. And so I told you to your face, go on and believe those white folks over there, okay, in their little neat snobbery who are telling you this bullshit, and anybody else, okay, that's telling you, okay, because they're lying to you. Okay, I'm Raider Nation. So why should I sit up here and write a story about our history and give it to some dudes, mob boss? I've heard of him, you've told me about him. Only mob boss I know is Grizz Jones, who right now this hour is on 66th Avenue, Coliseum Way in Oakland, California.
How many years?
Okay, too many. Going on 20-something years.
It can be raining and snowing and hailing and sleeting.
Grizz is out there. Grizz lives there. And he's mob boss. And 66 Mob, well, you know, some real shit. So that's the only mob boss I really acknowledge. I know what you're talking about. And again, some of y'all a little too sensitive for me. And of course, I ain't for everybody. And I'm cool with that, homie. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Speak my mind. I make no apologies for it. Okay, that's how we got our reputation. We're old school Raiders, man. And people love us, you know, because we don't bite our tongue. We mean what we say. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I'm not writing a story about us. You feel offended that I dissed your friends. Why should I write a story about them, about us, and give it to some people who, one, like I said, are titled their magazine after something that they won't acknowledge the truth about? Okay? That's lazy, number one, to use Raider Nation again. Two, that's number two. You know, then number three, you want to disrespect Tim Del Rosario, who was the first one to start any kind of Raider fan media with Raider Fan magazine. That's how we're here. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know?
Tim.
And you know, when you say you would love to come work with us and all that shit, like, you know, so when it comes to those dudes and then the concerts you want to do and all that, it's like we're doing a lot of work for you and there's no incentive. You know? That's lazy to me.
Well, I've never
Like I told you at the suite, we had to hustle to get her credential. You know, she's one of the first ever internet journalists, a pioneer, to get a credential by a pro football team. All this lineage, all y'all doing media and your friends and all that shit. Y'all got credentials? Like, let's stop fucking around here, man. Like I told you, some of you Raider fans are front. Some of y'all are pretending. Okay, we ain't pretending. We put ours out there. We're who we say we are. So no, I'm not writing no story to give somebody else. You want to do a story, that's not how journalism works. Journalists want to do a story on fucking Tiger Woods. He doesn't call Tiger Woods and go, will you send me some stuff about yourself so I can put it in my article?
He doesn't do that.
No.
Tiger Woods does not do that. He drives very fast on very short roads.
Nobody calls the Los Angeles Times, Bill Plaschke and T.J. Simons down there. They don't call LeBron James after a game or Anthony Davis and go, hey man, can you write some stuff up about the game tonight and about yourself and send it to us? That's not how it works, man. Yeah. You want to do a story on us,
Don't you gotta
contact us.
You gotta get an ace reporter that goes out and hits the bricks.
Right.
Hit the bricks.
Ask the questions.
So,
get the info. Write the story.
Like I said,
right.
I apologize to you in person. I apologize to you here if I offended you, if any way I disrespected you, or I said something that, you didn't agree with, or not that you didn't agree with, but that hurt your feelings, or, that upset you. That was not my intent, homie, but I'm who I say I am. Okay, I'm not muzzled. Okay, I'm free, homeboy. All right, they freed my people back in the 1800s. Okay, so, that's what time it is, bro. And so I'm sorry if you was offended, okay? And that's the bottom line. But no on all accounts
Free
now.
at last, free at last. Well, I think that Raider Homer has very thick yellow skin. And it was great that he traveled all the way from Texas just to hang out for the draft weekend.
Yes, I'm
to
not
hang
mad
out
at the
with
cat
us.
or anything like that. I just want to clarify that. And like I told him, when it comes to his show, you gotta give it more pop, baby. And you gotta be honest, and you gotta be open, and it can't just all be goody two-shoe shit. You gotta bring a little fire to that motherfucker, man, a little color. You know what I'm saying? So, and like I told you, we reflect our life when we come on the air, and that's why people like you, want to know why our numbers are up and da-da-da, because we're honest, because we're real, and people can feel that through the screen, and that's what's up. And
thank you people, too, for commenting, liking, subscribing.
Yes.
Being, we're like, Raider Art sent us an email. We are above 1,000 subscribers.
Yay!
Thank you.
And speaking of which, it is that time of the show, beautiful Black Hole Steph, where we speak the words of the fans, the listeners, the viewers, and that is the comments.
Comments. Now we got your comments. Comments.
Comment on our YouTube channel.
Gonna let you
We'll
know.
read your comments every week at RaiderFanRadio.com. First comment, to reiterate in what you just said, beautiful Black Hole Steph.
Yes.
Up to 1,005 to be exact.
Subscribers. I got 5 on it.
Those 5 are very important.
No,
wait, now we gotta figure out.
1,005.
We gotta figure out how we now have to raise our game. One season, the return season of RaiderFan Radio, up to 1,000 subscribers, averaging 19,000 views a show. Somebody's watching. I don't know who you are, but you're watching, and I know you're commenting. Some of those comments are these are the words, views of our listeners, Raider fans, and just people in general. Lio, and I can never say these names. Liocos Scorpion.
Lococo.
Y'all are having too much fun. Now that's a Raider party. Talking about our draft party. So yeah, why do you come hang out?
Yeah.
Some of these are response to the draft party and the draft in general. Random Dead Girl says
There she is again.
they easily could have traded down, got more picks, and got Leatherwood anyways.
Yeah. She sees it too.
Amethyst 2. Perhaps Mayock and Gruden don't want to live in Vegas anymore.
Damn. That's your dad? Amethea?
Amitha SA2.
Damn, Amitha. Hey, if you come to Vegas, I want to sit down and talk football with you because you sound like my type of vibe. Yeah, real talk, right? I like that one.
TKU Boex Fabula Rasa. That's a long name on YouTube. Says, as a long-suffering Raider fan, I say bust. Just like all the rest. Fire Baylock and Chucky.
Yeah.
There's some very disgruntled fans out there.
Long-suffering Raider fan with a long name.
Yeah.
Wow.
Those are the ones you don't want to piss off.
Bonus 912.
Hold on. Let's delve into that right there. You just put it out
TK,
there. There are a lot
Boex.
of fans who are not very pleased.
No. They're pissed.
Yeah, and
They're not just not pleased.
Yeah, and
not
I
pleased
think
is like, I don't know, that doesn't sound right to
I
me.
think management needs to listen to this.
I know.
You know, not so much us. And, you know,
Well,
but I'm
look,
serious.
we just got 19,000 views. You think somebody in there is watching or listening?
Your fan base is talking to you, man. They're not happy with what you're doing. And this falls into the realm of rock star, quarterbacks, whatever else. You got to do something to make these people happy. They're not happy, and if they're not happy online, imagine how unhappy motherfuckers is going to be in person.
Before you finish your rant, one last unhappy comment is Modus 9123 says, the Raiders are a joke. We aren't winning crap anytime soon.
Man.
These are very
This is a
bare bones,
strong
right
comments.
to the
Very
heart.
strong comments.
Yeah.
Very strong.
Very strong comments. Yeah.
Man, that makes me think of Black Hole Jake. You know, like he was the kind of commenter. And if you're out there, Jake,
What's up, Jake?
Hope you are. Log on, definitely subscribe. and
Well,
leave a
when
comment.
they have real games again, you're gonna hear a lot of comments in those stands when things go anyway. Good, bad, or indifferent.
Even in our chat room during the Draftcast, people were like, after the pick, 5-12, 5-12. Oh, we're gonna fucking touch.
Oh wait, Raider.
And in the
We're going to
hotel.
Super Bowl this year.
In the hotel,
Yes.
also I want to say real quick, Giannis Ricole, who was Stone said earlier, was a bunch of you that were down with me on this Trevor Lawrence thing. Please send us at RaiderFanRadio.Gmail. I want you to give me an address where something physical can be sent to you, and I still got something coming out to you. You were promised a Trevor Lawrence jersey unless you turn into a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. I'll get you that jersey. Other than that, hit me though, please, at RaiderFanRadio.com at Gmail, and I'm going to send something out to you anyway, all right? Go ahead.
Speaking of Giannis Ricule,
Oh, hey! Yeah, what's up,
Giannis,
homie? That's the homie. What's up?
I'm definitely a fan of Giannis Ricule because he says, you got my vote, stoner dude.
Yeah.
So, Giannis has already voted on Las Vegas Cannabis Awards.com.
Thank you, Giannis.
Very thankful to have your vote. Thank you. David.
Tell the folks again real quick. That was a good segue. Tell them again, Stone. Get back to the comments. We'll be right back with some more comments.
I got it. Las Vegas Cannabis Awards.com.
Follow the instructions.
Now, till June 2nd, once a day.
June 2nd.
And
That's June.
Register and log in. You have to register and log in. They won't let you in.
So you can vote.
there you go.
Vote 2021.
Vote 2020. That's the year we're in.
And
Click on local community. Go to the catalog, artist Peter. And last but not least, vote Stoner Dude. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Darwin Doss says, I've been a Raider fan since 1976. The last 20 years have been excruciating. I thought I was done with these hardcore. They're still going. They never end. This is a long list of
Well, we're the show with the
Raider
honesty. It's a
fans.
reflection of we're the show with the honesty. Who puts it out there? This is what we're getting back in return. We're
wanna
telling
see
people
Raider football.
exactly what's real.
Yeah.
And they know it. They understand what we're talking about. You know, and so they're responding to that. You know, yes. You know, that was a bad fucking pick. You know, and you don't see anybody in these comments though saying, but I'm really optimistic for 2021 because Derek Carr is at quarterback.
Right, yeah.
You don't see
Raider
that.
Homer left her, at least 3 or 4 that said
Oh,
that.
man.
He had to leave 3 to 4. Come on, man.
Gonzo.
Tim Guns, what's up, baby?
Who's a Chiefs fan but loves Raider Fan Radio,
We love you too.
Talking about when we gave a little tribute to Rush last show. Yeah. Rush is my favorite. I was fortunate to be in the audience and see them inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow.
Got to be in the room, man.
Oh, wow.
And lastly, fuck those vaccine mandates.
Right on.
Just to let us know how he feels about it. And he's responding to the last show we did where we did take shots. We got our shots right there on screen.
Here, I'm going to take
We made each other with a live. We're living for each other.
This is my tip. Now I can go to Canada.
Oh, shot 3.
523-8421. That's the name. Talking about Raider Homer's call to our last show. The caller sounds desperate and most definitely has Carvid.
That's the one.
Oh, no. You got Carvid.
And I wanted to tell Homer because I didn't get to tell him at the hotel. But our fans, like, when you got hit like you did in our thing, that's not just them going off of us. They go, and this is what I'm saying about fans. You know me and you were talking about.
Listening.
You know what me and you were talking about. This is the product of them going to watch your show. You know, they don't just go off of what we say. They went and looked at your show. And so what I was telling you about the optics of your show and your support and man, our people will go check you out. So they weren't just going off, because I read some of those comments and I know that they had to have gone to see your show to make some of the comments they made. You know, so yeah.
Lacey May agrees with me. I like the 17-game season.
Yeah.
So she likes the 17 games too.
Oh, okay. Right on, Lacey. I like
Mr. Ranger Elite, which is a cool name. Mr. Ranger Elite. Sounds like a special forces.
Isn't that guy dressed up in the Power Ranger?
I don't know.
He's got on his show.
Mr. Ranger Elite says, RaiderFan Radio keeps it real instead of the other media with their standard blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
That's what
Shout
Mr. Ranger
out
Elite
to
says.
all Army Rangers that are out there. Thank you.
And lastly, but not leastly, because he is becoming one of my favorite commenters because he seems to always hit many points in one nice paragraph.
All right.
Man, this is, by the way, Sky Marriott. Lastly, but not leastly.
What's up, Sky?
Man, laugh my ass off. You guys are crazy and I love it.
Hey!
You even look for veins with the vaccine when we're doing the vaccine.
You got that. Stone, what were you doing? You knew Stone. I want to make sure I go right to the blood, right to the vein. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, everybody's watching shit.
And he was like, wait, I started already. That was funny.
If you said let's the three of us jump off a cliff together, I would go first. For you.
Yes, baby.
I have listened to Raider Homer's show because of you guys.
See?
He is a Homer.
See? Told you.
Car is special, all right. A special kind of not very good.
Oh.
I get what the crew is saying. They're in Vegas. Now they have to make a statement and build a team people don't want to miss seeing.
Yes.
Instead of a team people just come to see.
Right.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yes.
What?
That's what I mean.
Instead of what?
That's what I mean.
A team that people want.
Just want to come to see. That's what I'm saying. Like,
build a team people don't want to miss seeing.
Oh, right.
Anticipation.
Okay.
Right.
Instead of a team people just come to see.
And that's Vegas again. Who want to come here to see shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's exciting.
Biggest stage in the world right now.
You gotta have a headliner.
That's right.
They're not understanding. You gotta be a headliner.
They're putting Garth Brooks and Van Halen and all the big
and the Las Vegas Raiders are supposed to be the preeminent headliner.
They're supposed to be
now.
It's Raiders Stadium.
You're the NFL.
Yes.
You know, you're supposed to be the biggest kid on the block, man.
Will Stone be selling copies of the Neil Merriweather CD he did?
Hey.
Neil Merriweather.
The answer is go online, anywhere. I'm sure it's probably on one of the digital outlets you could buy, Amazon, whatever. I'm sure if you type in Merriweather Stark Rock Solid is the name of the album, and I'm sure you can find it online out there. And I appreciate that. And thank you, Raider Homer. Raider Homer bought one too. And he gave me his review. I was honored that some fans watched the show and got turned on to Neil Merriweather like I did.
I went back and checked out some of it. I highly recommend Kryptonite. I mean, it's just some real great music, real just harmonies on top of psychedelic bass mixed with prog guitars and just just a whole fusion of a lot of different sounds from that era in the mid 70s that he fused together. And I don't know why he didn't go bigger, but man, it's good music. So check out his catalog as well as the new album that Stone's on.
Memory Lives on RaiderFan Radio.
Yeah.
Lastly, and I'll take the props for this too. Thank you very much, Sky Marriott. Talking about me, I love Stoner Dudes drumming with Raiderhead.
Woo!
Niner Hater is my jam.
Yeah.
Yay!
Niner Hater's been making a comeback.
We're
not even in the Bay Area, but the song lives
That's because it's a bunch
in the hearts.
That's because there's a bunch of them here, and they're walking around in their burgly bullshit, and Raider fans just see them. And they need a reason to take something out on them, and that's exactly what's going to happen when the Niners come along.
Yes.
We're going to be out there banging that song. Stone's going to be out there playing it live with
Oh
Raider
my
fans.
God.
Okay?
Yes.
So
We'll be ready for the Niners when they get here.
Raiders, Niners, it's Niner Hater Weekend. Okay,
Yes.
we're calling it on RaiderFanRadio.com.
And he finally, Sky Marriott says, good show. Hi, Steph. I love your style.
Oh,
And those are our comments.
love you too, boo.
We'll catch you next time with the comments on the
baby,
next
comments.
RaiderFan Radio at gmail.com.
You know, back to the Raiders and what the expectation is that they should do, or, people's disgruntlement. Again, I think people would have been very happy and are now happy now to hear that we are
you happy now?
the mix for Aaron Rodgers.
Still.
We brought it up here on our show. There's now a clip that's on YouTube now, that discussion on show 19 when we talked about both of us calling it.
Well, I'll go further
the
than
safety.
I'll go further than that, Raider Rob. In this particular case, you specifically came up with the idea not only a while back before Trevor Raider, but as your backup plan in case you didn't get Trevor Raider. That was a very specific draft proposal that you put out there, putting Aaron Rodgers' name in the biggest spotlight that we're talking about here now for the past hour or so in Las Vegas. And the fact of the matter is, it was something that would be considered outlandish when you thought of it and said it, but yet all of a sudden, it's national news across the country.
And Aaron Rodgers was on the block.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we were even watching during the draft show, the Draftcast, going, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? And it didn't happen, but it doesn't mean it still won't happen.
Well, there's been a lot of fallout, a lot of drama surrounding it, and some of the drama that emerged today and over the last 24 hours was criticisms against Aaron Rodgers from Warren Moon, former NFL quarterback who great, of course, won many Grey Cups in the CFL back in the 80s, and then the great Terry Bradshaw of the fucking Pittsburgh Steelers, had some comments to say calling Aaron Rodgers, quote, dumb, and weak, for wanting out of Green Bay. Now, let me tell you this there, partner, when that shit first broke about Aaron Rodgers, I was on another show in their chat room. In one of my anonymousnesses. And no sooner did the host mention it.
You go around anonymously
and it was just breaking.
Scour the internet.
Mind your business.
You just
and
fessed
so,
up.
That's my business. So that's my personal
And there's at
my
RaiderFan
personal
on YouTube.
And so it broke at that moment. I immediately, like I said, on the Draftcast, put in that draft proposal.
Right.
And
was this a big show?
Yes. And it's
high profile?
Yes. It stopped their chat room.
Guessing game. Was it on Sirius XM radio?
It's a daily show. It is on Sirius XM. Yep. And so it ran. It stopped their chat room for a minute. All of a sudden, there was talk of Aaron Rodgers. Then all of a sudden, it became Denver was interested. Then draft day, we find out after the pick, and the Niners take Trey Lance. The Niners had inquired about Aaron Rodgers.
More than inquired. They really wanted to make that
was
move.
fine.
Yeah.
Everything was fine.
Yeah.
Everything was fine. Then it took about 24 hours for it to cycle through. Like Stone said, 19,000 views. Some of you mainstream motherfuckers was watching. We had a lot of views on show 19.
Wait, is that your nickname for the rest of the media? Mainstream motherfucker.
Yeah, that's mainstream motherfucker. Triple M.
Put that on the screen.
Okay.
Mainstream motherfucker.
Mainstream motherfucker.
Had to
You
see
know
19.
who you are.
Had to see 19. Now, all of a sudden, and that'll be flashing on the screen too, 24 hours, 48 hours later, they start talking about the possible locations for Aaron Rodgers to go to. And one of them is Denver. Another one of them, okay, is New Orleans all of a sudden. Another one of them is Miami. But he wasn't a dummy, and he wasn't weak, and he wasn't whining until it was mentioned that he could come to the Raiders.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he became weak.
Right.
All of a sudden, he became a whiner.
On his money.
And hate on the Raiders. Like we've been educating you young folks. They don't want us to be successful. That's why the attitude over there has to be no fucks given.
Right.
And we're not trying to play nice with the NFL. But after seeing that damn
fucks
war room,
given.
after seeing that war room and all them loafers and shit, we're definitely playing, kiddie pool with the NFL, man. That's why it's got to be physical and aggressive and unapologetic. And that's not the spirit I see coming out of here. Because that's what they're doing. Terry Bradshaw's a company man. He's got his fucking nerve. He once asked Al Davis on the field to trade for him, to get him out of Pittsburgh.
So he can come and be a Raider.
And you got your nerve to tell me that's Aaron Rodgers' money. Stop checking his pockets, partner. He's giving to Green Bay. And after that bullshit they pulled against Tampa Bay, his coach pulled against Tampa Bay and took the ball out of his hands, okay? When they had a chance to go to the Super Bowl and up in Tom Brady and that miracle manufactured bullshit, I'd want out of here too, LaFleur. Okay? Get the fuck out of here, man.
That's really
He's
wrong.
a champion. He's a winner, okay? And he's a man that knows his worth. Okay,
Yes.
and his worth and value. You've done this before.
Yes.
You did it to Dan Mikowski.
Right.
Back when he was supposed to get paid, unfortunately, he got injured. Then Favre comes.
You
end up doing the same thing to Favre a year later. Go ahead, Tim.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm just like, that's that. Aaron.
But as soon as we mentioned him coming to the Raiders,
there was a problem.
there was a problem.
They only gave him 2 years on that contract.
Yeah, that
That's the
extension.
same thing that you did with Favre,
Sick
with
of
him.
shit.
So he read it.
Quit
So
hating on us.
why couldn't he support him as another quarterback ever?
Who knows what it's like to go through that?
Right.
Who knows what it's like to be rejected?
Right.
You got the nerve to call somebody dumb. Like Thomas Henderson said, you couldn't spell cat. You were so stupid before Super Bowl 10 that you couldn't spell cat if they spotted you to C and the A. You know what I'm saying? And you are a
can't
big
spell
country,
cat.
and you easy if they spotted you to C and the A. That was the label on Bradshaw, that he was a dummy.
Yeah,
And he's resented it for
Well,
years.
if Bradshaw's calling Aaron Rodgers a dummy.
Yeah.
For
That is fucking
wanting out
nerve.
of Green Bay,
You know what I'm
which
saying?
Green Bay is going to 2 years. Why wouldn't you go and make the money that you can make right now and still be with somebody that believes in you, knowing that they're gonna go with the younger guys? That's your history.
Bradshaw should have championed for
Yes, he should have.
And Warren Miller
Yes,
too.
yes.
All of them.
Somebody's
All of them.
being greedy.
Right.
You just mad because you
Get him
you
paid.
didn't get paid like he can get paid.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers is 36 years old, okay, keeps himself in great condition,
Right.
okay, he's got rock star looks and rock star capabilities, and he's good on the fucking field.
Prime time Jeopardy host.
All of that.
Yeah.
Okay, you bring him to Vegas and him throwing the rugs, him throwing the roller, him throwing the rim throw, swing passing out the backfield to your new boy. This is my new favorite guy, Gronson or whatever his name is. Because I'm sick of Ron Gronkowski. We need a new Gronk, whatever his name is. Okay?
Garrett Groshek.
Groshek. Get me some of that horse shit. Groshek.
And don't forget
give me none of that
Dylan
horse
Stoner.
shit.
Right.
Yeah, Dylan Stoner, straight up.
Yeah. I mean,
You
he should have
mind the
like you
fucking
said,
business.
championed him.
He ought to get paid. He
Right.
can get paid now before he is an old ass quarterback. Brady got paid. I
Right.
don't have shit to say about that.
Right.
Peyton got paid. Okay. Breeze just got paid and retired.
Thank you. And
You ain't got nothing to say
Aaron
about that.
class.
Fuck Green Bay. Not really Green Bay. I really do like you people up there. This is here I go again.
Right.
Let me put something in my mouth and shut up.
Fuck loosely.
You two go on. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Aaron deserves to have an opportunity to end his career the way he sees fit.
It's silver and black.
And it's silver and black looks good. I would love that. That would be great for not only the Las Vegas Raiders, the city of Las Vegas, the Raider Nation that wants to see winning again. Here's his opportunity. He has something to prove. And that's fantastic. And why not the AFC West for him? This would be great. He's coming home. It's part of that whole transformation in his career. And he has done a lot. At this point, he should be able to call his shot.
Exactly.
Well, until then, Derek Carr's out at the local park here in Henderson, throwing the ball to Dylan Stoner.
I am so
And
sick
Hunter
of that
Renfro.
shit.
Hey, what is this? May, June, July, August, September. You got about 3.5 months or so to make a big fucking season-changing move like that.
Right.
You got time. June 1st is the date
right.
that is being projected where things are going to change. I want to give a shout out, rolling on back to the draft a little bit. Got a bar of the owner, Kim Pegula. She threw out a couple of picks on the second and third day. She is the owner of the Bills and the president. And I have just always been a supporter of women in any position in arena where men are.
Any position in arena.
And dominate. You know, I love to see women achieve in those same arenas, man. And,
Me too.
You know, I go back to Georgia Frontier area, who I had a crush on. God rest, years ago, loved her and what she stood for with her light blue, ram blue jumpsuits and all that. And a lot of other women.
Crush on Georgia Frontiera.
Yes.
A crush.
She used to be a dancing girl here in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, back in the days when Vegas was first.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta dig a little deep like that.
Yeah, I guess so.
But
I'm on the internet digging deep on
shout
Georgia
out-
Frontier.
Yeah, shout out to Kim Pegula. She has one woman.
Ooh.
He's not even listening.
Kim, I didn't
It's
know
his
She
own
has
show.
one woman.
Kim Pegula, who is the owner of the Bills. Female. That's what I'm talking about. Just don't pay attention. Get that out of this fucking mouth.
Okay.
So I was shouting her out for her success and the fact that she has the Bills revitalized. You know, there was a lot of, tribulation and tension when the Bills changed ownerships over the last 10 years twice. And even on the page at one point was talk with Donald Trump. And that's why people think that he has such an active right as president of the NFL, because they, of course, as we know,
Wouldn't
kept
let
him out
him, yeah.
and wouldn't let him buy the Buffalo
Yeah,
Bills. It's one team he was pursuing.
Yeah.
So anyway,
No
just success to
casino,
her,
no
what she's
football
doing.
team.
She's the president and she's the owner. She's got the Bills popular again, and joined up with the Bills Mafia, of course. And they've got a great atmosphere going up there, like they had back in the '90s. She knows how to draft. Obvious by what they did last year with Josh Allen. And so, just shouting her out, man. I love to see women successful, man, in big business and in arenas where, men are usually the preeminent motherfuckers that are given the credit for being the best and all this old shit. And it's just great to see when women show equality or better, with men. So that's all. I just love that, It's a beautiful thing.
She's coming up.
Yeah, she's already up. She's already up. She had a better fucking draft than we did. Why you fucking do it? Give some goddamn respect to somebody that did it. She came in there that goddamn Death Star and beat your fucking team, okay? All you goddamn Derek Carr motherfuckers always talk about what he did against the damn Chiefs and against the fucking Jets. What did he do against Tampa? Where was he at against Tampa? Where was he at against Tampa? Where was he at against the Atlanta Falcons? Where the fuck was he at against who did I just say she worked for? The Buffalo Bills.
The Bills.
Where was he at that game? Motherfuckers always talking about how good he do. You don't talk about that other shit, the games he lost, the games he didn't show the fuck up. Josh Allen came in here and kicked our ass and Derek Carr's ass. And that's her guy.
Yeah.
She's got it going on up in Buffalo.
Caligula?
No, it's not a Roman sex movie. It's Caligula.
That's what I was
Is that
saying.
Caligula?
Caligula.
What the hell are you talking about? They call her
Capigula.
Peg.
You say Capigula?
No, I didn't. I said Pegula.
Pegula.
She said Caligula.
Okay, like Pegasus.
Like Caligula.
Right.
Excuse me.
Right.
I'm
I
sorry.
heard Caligula. That's all I heard. Look it up, kids.
Yes. Right on, sis. Do your
Pegula.
football thing. Okay, I got it wrong.
She's not from Rome.
Yes. Shout out to 420 Sahara. once again,
Yes.
doing a kind of a live shout out to
Is that
them.
the dispensary over on Sahara?
That
420
is
Sahara?
Located at 420 Sahara Wellness. That is some fantastic herb. And that's what you can get there. I mean, it has us forgetting like things that just happened. And sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, you want to forget. And you should go to 420 Sahara Wellness and take part in the festivities. Thank you.
Is that from 420 Sahara right there?
That right there.
That's a bomber Led
Sponsored
Zeppelin
by-
right there.
Yes. Sponsored by Sahara Wellness. Right on.
So we got a couple other things we're gonna hit on before we get out of here, but real quick, just wanted to give a shout out.
A lot of shouting out tonight.
Yeah, and a dedication to a cat that I knew fairly well and was acquainted with, an Oakland music legend, a great producer, very underrated producer, and a guy who created one of the more seminal characters in hip-hop music and changed the trajectory of hip-hop music, and is very much credited with bringing fun and funk back into hip-hop music. And he definitely was a great creative artist. He definitely was a great musician. He was a visionary.
He was a drummer, right?
He was a drummer. He played keyboards, piano, a great piano player, which is something that he's very noted for throughout his career, recording with Digital Underground. And a cat that I knew and got to know over the years from Oakland, California, originally from Tampa, born in New York, but came to Oakland in the mid to late 80s, and I met him around that time. But we give a dedication tonight to Gregory Jacobs, better known to you as Shock G, and out of Shock G, more importantly, better known as Humpty Hump, the man who once got busy in a Burger King bathroom and became one of the most popular characters in music and hip-hop. And Greg was, like I said, a cool dude. I met him first, came in contact with him at Leo's Music, which was a place that we used to go to in North Oakland. All the musicians in the Bay would go to where equipment was sold. And we could get all the new keyboards, drum machines, and shit like that, rent them out. It's also studio time and all that. You could get there, rehearsal studio space and what have you. I was part of a collective at the time called Tight Squeeze, a funk collective. And there was a lot of music. Oakland has a great, rich musical history, and at that time there was a lot of musical fusion of the band era, which Oakland was known for, fusion into hip-hop, which was getting big also at the time, of course, Too Short and what have you. It came before that, Hammer, you all.
What were the bands before those rap stars became popular in the Oakland Bay Area? Like,
you had Tower Power.
What was the transition?
You had Tower Power. You had Fungo Mungo. You had, of course, Santana. Claimed the Bay Area. Sly and the Family Stone was still based in the Oakland Bay Area at the time. Larry Graham with Graham Central Station. That was the fusion that you had coming out, going into hip-hop. And then you had the local scene, which was a lot of local bands like Radiance, the Eyes Odd Band. These were bands on the local scene that were very popular. And Radiance, people that I was connected with in my studio, they were signed to Q West, Quincy Jones label at the time. And they were kind of like the deal and the time put together.
What were the years around, you say, late 80s into the early 90s?
Yes.
Yes. And then here comes In Vogue, and then here comes, the Conscious Daughters,
Right.
I was a member of. And
Right,
then,
I was a member of.
there's so many different rap groups and artists, Paris, that ended up.
And that was a transition, and one of the groups that were the first to break big and national and really give Oakland this new hip-hop place was Digital Underground and Shock G. And he was friends with a friend of mine named Bonnie Bray, who was a keyboard player known in the Bears for being keyboards, and being a great vocalist, strong, gospel-inspired type voice. And she went on, a lot of, if you know your music, to be with Prince for a number of years during his slave era, with it written on his face, and Sign of the Times era, and Love Sexy and all that. She was the keyboard player for him, and we were great friends, man. And she's passed. We lost Bob in 1996. And so there was this whole collective of all these musicians, DJ Chaos, who was on a lot of George Clinton stuff. I was part of the P-Funk camp, getting introduced to that at the time, but I was a rapper at the time, Rough and Ballistic. So anyway, I would see him there and what have you. And then up at Bonnie's house, around the time that they were starting to work together, and she was going to work with them Digital Underground, he came up there one day, and it's a funny story. This album that we listen to now is called Sex Packets. And the song Sex Packets itself was a vision that Shock G had of being able in the future to give packets. And he has an old skit where he's selling, instead of crack and heroin, he's selling something called sex packets, which you can open them up, you get 2 pills, you take them, and you can have the sexual fantasy that's on the package. And I thought about this all day when I thought of you. You would have one. You would have one that would have Selma Hayek.
Oh yeah.
And you'd be able to buy it. Imagine that.
Selma Hayek sex packet.
Exactly.
I am in.
And you'd be able to pop.
Can I get a young Raquel Welch with that too?
Exactly. Exactly. You'd have to hear this song, but that was Shock's vision. And of course, it's a very popular song on the first album, Sex Packets, the self-titled album. Well, he came over this day, and we're sitting in the living room and all that, and he came in, and I was hooked up with Bonnie's boyfriend at the time. He was a bass player, and me and him were getting ready to do some stuff. I was transitioning back into funk exclusively. So Shock comes in, and he's a very animated cat, and you all know who Shock G is, so you know what I'm talking about. He sits down, he puts his feet up on the coffee table. It was like that with him and Bonnie. They were real close. He's like, man, I'm sick of this shit. You sound like me when I be arguing about RaiderNation. Somebody's come up with this idea. I just saw it. Now, we don't know anything about this. It's like 1990, 91. He said, I just read this thing, man, where they're going to come out, okay, with this friggin' way to have sex with some glasses.
Right.
You're going to be able to put on glasses. Man, that's almost like sex packets. Is that like sex packets? You know, he asked Bonnie.
He was expressing to you some real personal information related to a story that really affected his life and his creative project that he was.
And he was talking about becoming a virtual reality, where you'd be able to have sex with the virtual cameras on. And he back then had read some stories somewhere about this emerging technology that was supposed to come.
And when will this technology be here?
It's here now.
Here now.
Virtual reality with the glasses, how you can play games, virtually.
Yeah, but you can only see, you want a little more than that.
They do have the sex ones, though.
Strange days.
Right now, just like when the VCR first came out, it's very expensive to do it now. But once they get it perfected, it'll be...
You're going to be able to go to a computer,
right,
pick a chick or a dude or whatever it is that you're sexing up with.
It's not the same.
And you're going to plug it into your computer and put on your glasses, your helmet, your sex helmet.
Right.
Your
sex helmet. Copyright that
yes,
song. Copyright that. There we go. Sex helmet. And so he was lamenting, that the thing in the
he missed it by that much.
And Bonnie looked at him and was like, what are you talking about? How you gonna have sex with him? He looked at me, he's like, you know what I'm talking about? I was like, I ain't never heard no shit like that.
But he knew what he was, Shock G knew what he was talking about.
He knew what he was talking about, and sex packets came to life. And then there was another interesting story. I was at Leo's one time, and I ran into him, we were talking, and I was up there fucking around with the keyboard, and he came in and played some cool ditty, and just, and he went in the back, and he was leaving, and he's like, okay, man, I'll see you later. Oh, by the way, we're filming this video. Come downtown. And I'm like, oh, okay, no. He leaves.
We're filming this video.
Downtown.
It just kind of... In the middle of the
That's the type of guy he was.
Right.
He pop up in Oakland.
You better gotta catch what he's saying.
Right.
I caught that, but by the time he got outside, and I thought about it, he didn't tell me where. I'm like, oh, man. So anyway, I was getting a reel. Getting a half-inch reel. We used to record on reel. So I was getting a reel out of
the old days.
Coming up at my studio and all that. So I had to get a new inch reel and all that. And I ended up stopping him in the Twomps, the 23rd, my hometown, my home turf, my block, before I went over to High Street. And happened to run into at the store my boy Lionel B. Lionel B went on to become a big-time promoter in the Bay Area who owned Bay Area Productions.
Right.
Okay? And so he happened to be at the store, and we were chopping it up and da-da-da, and he was like, man, I'm getting ready to go down here to go to this video shoot, man, what you doing? And I'm like, what? And I was like, where's it at? He's like, downtown to London Live. I'm like, who is it? He's like, just underground. And I'm like, oh, with Shocky? He's like, yeah. So anyway, I ended up going down there with another homie of mine, and sure enough, we went to the London Lodge, the old London Lodge, across the street from the police station. It's gone now, and some apartments now. But anyway, the Do What You Like video, I'm in it for the split us a second. For the split us a second.
That was you?
You can't see me, right? You can't see me, though. We went down there with the daytime shoot and went all the way into the night. We were about
But you were there.
But I'm up on the balcony behind Humpty, and Shock's doing the Humpty thing, and he's saying some line. I forget what line of Humpty, but you'll see a balcony in the background, a bunch of people in this 4-tier balcony.
Yeah.
You remember the London Lines, right?
Yes.
And I'm in a white Raider, ironically, white Raider jacket.
Irony.
And it has black.
That's the example of irony.
Yeah, it has black sleeves, and you can see me for the split of seconds back to bottom of my head. My friend has a red shirt. You know, you have to know it's me,
right?
But it's me, and it was a very common jacket back then. We were in LA, and they had the patch right here. You can't see the patch too well, and they had the
But now we got that technology, like that Mission Impossible.
You can
Tom Cruise technology.
I'm sure one of these kids will do it.
Zoom in on it, you'll be able to blow it up and digitize it. That'll be Raider Rock.
It's the Do What You Like video.
Yes.
You know, and then one time I ran into him, he was on his way back to New York. I was walking around the lake, and I was walking the other way, and this was on the P-Funk tip, because I was part of P-Funk mob, and he knew that, connected to him and whatever. And it was when we were going to have the re-landing of the mothership in '97. And I had I had my Raider shit on, like Stone Customary. So I'm coming around the lake one way, he's coming around the lake the other way. We're both on foot walking. Been in front of the 1200 building. You all know the famous 1200 building where a lot of players stayed at in Oakland. He lived at the penthouse and And he's like, he sees me coming, he goes, you still wearing that Raider stuff?
Yeah, wait a minute.
He's from Tampa.
Shock G recognized your Raider is.
Well, he knew me because we'd be hanging out at Bonnie's house.
Right.
So he knew,
He knew the original Raider Rock.
Yeah.
The original Shock G knew the original Raider Rock.
And so I told him, I said, man, the Buccaneers suck too. Because he's from Tampa.
He's from Tampa,
Right.
yeah.
And anyway, we laughed and all. He asked me, you going to see George and them do the re-landing of the mothership? That was in '97, and they were going to do the 20th anniversary of the mothership landing on the P-Funk Earth Tour. And I told him no, I wasn't going to go. Anyway, a few weeks later, they were at the Armory in San Francisco, and he was there backstage. And I was like, man, I wasn't in here. But anyway, at my run, one of my star crossings was shot, knew him. He was a P-Funk head.
I was gonna say,
but
as much as I don't know about Shock G like you do from personal experiences,
right here. That's it
I
right
knew every time I saw him talk, he was as hardcore a funkadelic as you could be.
Yep.
I mean, like a historian, a funkadelic historian.
Yes.
And he rocked the Groucho nose. When you can rock the Groucho nose and take it to a whole new level, the way he did it, I mean, you gotta admire. I like the humor, I like the fun of the music and the feel that he's trying to bring on stage.
Right.
It was, I mean, that's what it's all about. That's what an old school MC really is. It's like, let's have a party.
Right.
Cab Calloway on down the line. You know what I mean? Anybody that goes out there and speaks to the crowd, he gets them to have a good time.
And of course,
that's the attitude.
He produced and brought the whole world one of the greatest rappers of all time, Tupac Shakur, who unfortunately lost his life in Las Vegas here in 1996. But Tupac started out with Digital Underground and was a roadie for them, trying to get on. And that's how he started. I remember seeing him around, but Money B, Fuse, and all that, we were all the people that were into music at the time, we all were in the same space. I was fucking with a group back then too called the Freak Executives. Scott Roberts, Pietro, Bo Watson, what's up to y'all? The Freak Executive, Scott Roberts was supposed to be the drummer for Sheila E. Before they went on the Glamorous Life tour, but Prince kicked him out the band at the last minute. So these are the kind of circles that, was going on in Oakland, the music scene at the time. And you'd have these intersecting with people. And of course, Bonnie on, I'll Kiss Your Girl, Kiss Me Back. She's on that. And they had just finished doing Fort Fairlane. They were down there filming that with Andrew Dice Clay. And so that was when she came back and got with Luke Underground and what have you. So anyway.
I was totally, completely, like, I still don't honestly believe it because Shock was the kind of person, like.
Oh, he's a Virgo.
I mean, you know, he's
like
so
me and Michael
wily
Jackson.
and smart. Like, I don't know if he's like gonna come back. You know, I haven't seen a body yet, but anybody that can come out with, like, he was doing an interview back in the 90s on like it was some daytime. I can't even remember the show. I have to go back and figure it out. But it was a show that he was doing a daytime interview, and the lady was trying to interview him, and he was like, yeah, whatever. Everybody needs to get this book right here. I have to bring it on the next show, but he showed Behold a Pale Horse, which was a book that we learned of in the 1990s. It gave us a lot of information on, you know, the Illuminati, secret societies, you know.
What's that book called?
It's called Behold a
You've heard of
Pale
it before,
Horse.
William Cooper.
It's by William Cooper. He was actually murdered in, you know, not in Oakland, but he spent a lot of time in
He was
Oakland.
murdered in front of his house in Arizona, and the damn video used to be on YouTube.
Right, but they've wiped that off. But he gave so much information. So Shock, like, yeah, whatever. He had the Humpty nose on too. He's like, yeah, whatever. Everybody just needs to get this book. So
he's very conscious. He's very conscious, brother.
Really gone.
Okay, now you got me really curious.
He's very conscious.
How
brother.
did he die? He was very young. He was our age, literally.
Reportedly 57 years old. Reportedly, he was in Tampa Bay.
Okay, he was way over.
In a motel. He's the same generation. In a hotel there, and apparently somebody
We don't have
came to look for him.
Yes.
And they had to have the manager open the door, and they found him lying in his bed, allegedly in the hotel room. Passed away. They said there was no trauma. The first
Just
report,
like that, just
the first
passed away.
The first report that came out was that there was no trauma. And that was it. And his father said that they were going to let the authorities do an autopsy. And he had a funeral this past Saturday. And
he already had a funeral, and they don't even release the autopsy yet?
See what I'm saying?
Wait a minute,
who else does that sound like?
Michael
Jackson.
Minute.
Okay. Well,
Everybody can't
Prince.
That's fishy to me.
Everybody can't know the secret.
That's
I think Shock might be making the death money, and I'm like,
That's what I'm trying to find out here. Inquiring minds want to know. If I'm gonna talk some Shock G,
Yeah.
I want to know what the fuck happened to Shock
Let
G.
me just say this. I knew Greg was in his vibe, knew his style, knew him personally. It ain't beyond the realm of possibility. He's that type of cat.
Yeah.
He was conspiratorial.
He's
he
a
was
jokester.
conscious. He's a prankster. He played two characters.
Right.
And it was the thing to watch him be Humpty and people not realize that it was somebody else. And he did have a couple of guys, most famously, you all know Edward Humphrey, Bobby Humphrey,
right,
who played him. There were times when they would be together, particularly at the beginning of Digital Underground, you know, for promotion and marketing reasons.
Right.
He had to have somebody, a double, play him so they could be in the same spot. Because he had to promote the musical part. He had to promote the music side of it, and he was the lead.
He was just using tactics that he's seen before in his books and things like that.
Of course. And that you see it in entertainment. Sir knows. George was Dr. Funkenstein. Kiss! There you go, a cat, a lover, a demon, you know, and until 1980.
The spaceman. Don't forget the spaceman.
Until 1980, yeah, not forget Ace Fairley, my bad, Ace. Not until 1980 when they unmasked, you didn't know who they were.
Sure.
You know, so it's been done.
You gotta stick with it.
And yes, people can fake their death. Faking your death is not illegal. You understand? And I'm just putting it out there. Artist, entertainer, doesn't make a difference who you are. If you don't want to be here no more, you got a right. And if there's an incentive for you posthumously, all right, to be able to control your posthumous life, and there's assets there to be managed, then what better way to go out? And like she said, there is a thing called the death money. Ask Jimmy Iovine.
Right.
Ask Clarence Avon.
It's
ask some
retirement for artists.
Ask some of the big time music producers and label heads. They'll tell you there is a such thing, you know. And so it ain't beyond the realm that some artists have peaked that true industry of post-hominous money and said, well, why don't I just orchestrate my own shit and manage it myself after the fact and live another 20, 30 years.
Life,
You know? Everybody don't want to be here with you motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And me. They don't want to be here with us, man. And they got a right to. Anyway, Shock G, Greg, it's great knowing you. Appreciate you. And just, you know, your music will live on forever. And everybody will remember you made and brought a concept and a music and an artistry that is just imprinted and implanted in the minds of musicians in the music world forever. And Humpty Dance will be played at every wedding, prom, all that casino, party for the end of time. And so wherever you are, good brother, thank you for your time and thank you for, you know, letting me in your space sometimes. Man, it was great to know you. And represent the town, represent Oakland in a real way. You know, you really did. So, God rest, brother.
We're going to represent wrapping up this show with the last couple of segments.
Bill Gates is getting divorced. Bill Gates is getting divorced. What say you?
Wait. What do you care if Bill Gates is getting divorced for?
Because that's a very sudden thing. And I also care because you two.
We're talking about the Bill Gates.
You two motherfuckers.
The big man. The vaccinator guy.
Yeah, exactly.
That guy.
Okay, so this puts a
The
monkey.
evil Bill Gates.
This puts a monkey wrench in y'all shit. Because.
A monkey wrench?
Yeah,
In my shit.
Because he's getting divorced. Okay, so who gets the chip secret? Does she have them?
She's got them.
Oh, she's got everything.
You know,
There's Bill Gates' fucking ex-wife.
There's no prenup.
She's got more than Bill Gates.
There's no prenup. There's no prenup.
Okay.
What?
Wow.
This is his current wife, Melinda. They're getting divorced.
There's no prenuptial agreement, and it's like it couldn't happen to a better couple.
Wow,
you know,
like that.
Yeah, you know, like she was like.
I would love to be a billionaire, single fucking billionaire. That'd be the best thing ever.
She's part of an image makeover.
I meant the dude.
Oh, okay.
But go ahead with your image makeover.
I think his wife was part of an image makeover. Just go back and look at the movie Plandemic. That's PLA.
You can't find it anywhere. Pretty soon you're not gonna be able to find
So
this.
you should probably stop talking about it.
Okay.
Before you
What are
probably
you trying to do? Get us canceled?
get yourself disappeared around this
It's on another platform we won't mention. But or just go back and Google, which is YouTube. Look at old 1998 like images of Bill Gates in court with the antitrust suit, and you'll see that he really did try to redo his image, and she was part of that makeover. But I think she's just as wicked as he is. Some of the stuff that they've done together, her sprinkling the vaccine into little African babies' mouths, and yes, and these babies have died as a result of being in these vaccination trials that Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation have funded. They fund a lot of that stuff. Yeah, that's fine. I'll be by myself. Word up. Do your research, people.
RaiderFan Radio
At
on
RaiderFan
YouTube.
Radio.
Do your research.
Shout out to Manchester United fans over there at Old Trafford. They took to the field and protested over the weekend. Manchester United are the premier
Are you
soccer
talking
league.
soccer?
Yes, but I gotta give the fan solidarity because I am, as I always said, fan first and supported fan causes. There was always talk about us back in the day boycotting certain seasons and whatever when there were problems at the Coliseum. It has happened in American sports, of course. It's a long trend in American sports and sports in general, where sometimes fans have to rise up against the ownership. And I really love the Manchester United fans rising up against the Glazer family who used to own the fucking Tampa Bay Buccaneers when the NFL cheated for him to beat us. And Rich Gannon threw 5 interceptions. But that's another story. Anyway, right on to all of you and Man U, got your back. Supporting from Raider Rob, man, one of the most illustrious fans in professional sports. I'm with y'all, man. You know what I'm saying?
Stand up
against your ownership. Yes.
Manchester is in the house.
United is united. Their fan base. Their team is over there stealing money, all right, from the fans, misappropriating the funds, not giving them the type of product they want. That's what I'm talking about. You know, you stand up fans, you know, when you see shit ain't right, you know, when you see your organization ain't trying to win, you gotta call it out.
Fan
People
power.
may not like us, people may not, you know, have a problem with some of my forceful words and whatever, but fuck that. You know, I grew up in a different time, you know, and that was what was great tonight, to see the Yankees play the Astros before we came on, where the fans were back in the stadium. And of course, we all know the Astros cheated, and this is the first time they came to the Bronx, and it was just great to see the Bronx cheer again. You know, I know sports is back. You know, it still ain't full yet. Every place ain't had fans back yet. But that was a great sign tonight to see that. To see the Bronx cheer back. One of the just stalwart images in sports is Yankee fans getting on somebody.
Well, I know
You
Vegas.
know, just great. You know, like Raider fans back in the old Oakland Coliseum.
In Vegas, music is back. The shows
Yes.
are coming back.
Yes.
Little by little by little. But it's happening. I can report directly from the stage that I'll tell you right now, it was my first time doing a big 90-minute show in a Vegas crowd in a year.
Yeah.
I played a couple of bars and clubs here or there, small parties, social distancing, but the first time being on a stage with lights and a huge sound system.
Yeah.
The people that are going out right now looking for music here in the Vegas area, they're as hungry and thirsty on a deserted island as you can imagine for live entertainment and for live music right now. So as the doors kind of swing open just a little bit, just like with that Raider Stadium, not quite open yet.
Right.
It's getting to the point where I call it the floodgates. The floodgates will open, and it's just gonna come in, just bum rushing everything, and everything's just gonna go berserk. I see a boom coming, and I feel a boom coming. We just gotta keep the boom coming. Regardless of the stupid bullshit rhetoric, we gotta keep the boom coming.
Right on.
How did you feel just being out there?
That's a good question, because I was wondering if I was gonna go out there and play at my game shape.
Well, of course you would be in your game shape,
Yeah.
but how did you feel? You know,
It was.
much like an athlete, you've been off for a while.
I
you
did
know.
some preparation physically to get ready for it. I did some rehearsals with the band and the musicians I was playing with, getting together just to kind of work it out a little bit. So by the time I got into the actual stage, it was like being a little kid in a sandbox. And I say that not just for me, because I know how all these other musicians are right now in Vegas experiencing that as well. And it's the same thing when we talk amongst ourselves, man, that was fun. I can't believe I missed that so much.
Right.
You feel that freedom to go out there just and entertain and perform and jam.
Yeah.
But the fans, the folks love it too. So I look forward to seeing all of you out here in Vegas as soon as you can make it out here, because the doors are opening. We're going 100%, regardless of what the mandates and all that are. 100%. Put that on the screen. Let's see how that goes.
Well, that's what's up. Stone's back in business. We're in business. We never left you. We've been here since September 2020, man. And to all of you out there, we appreciate you supporting us. Hit us at RaiderFanRadio at Gmail with your comments so Stone can read them next show. All right, and that's what's up. The Raiders, they have 7 new millionaires, and they're all going to be out there competing in a few months here for the right to represent you and the Raiders this year, 2021, at the Death Star. The Las Vegas Raiders return to you, the fans. Before we go, most importantly, the Las Vegas Cannabis Awards. Please vote for Stone.
Go there, figure it out, make it happen. We've done it twice tonight. Go back and look at the tape. Rewind it, write it all down. And until then, in the meantime, we'll see you at the next show. That was show number 21.
We're legal, baby. Don't get
All
drunk on us.
Let's see if we can make it to 22.
Yes.
RaiderFanRadio@gmail.com. Later, Raider.
Peace out, everybody in the nation from Oakland to Afghanistan. There is Raider Nation. And since you let us be your motherfucking media, we're thankful to be here with you. Peace out.
The views and opinions of RaiderFanRadio.Vegas, RaiderFanRadio.com, and RaiderFan Radio Media are not the views and opinions of the Las Vegas Raiders, Al Davis Football, Inc., or the National Football League. RaiderFanRadio.Vegas is an independent media source.